All right, we are back with Baldur's Gate, Descent into Avernus, session 26, if my math is correct. Happy to be back for another week of D&D. So, for those of you watching here on Twitch or on YouTube for the first time, here at the beginning of the session, we'd like to do a couple things. One, I'll give a quick campaign summary, then we'll do some character introductions, and then the characters themselves will recap the events of last session. And after all that's done, we'll get into some gameplay. So first, I'll start with a brief overview of the campaign. So our players started in the holy city of Elturel. A holy city in the western heartlands that had an artificial sun hanging over the city called the Companion. Our party members went on a mission for some leaders of the city, and on their way back to Elturel, the entire city disappeared. The Companion, that artificial sun above the city, grew dark, crackled with energy. A giant heat wave exploded from the city, and the entire city vanished, leaving nothing but a crater in the ground. In the aftermath, the party found a caravan of refugees and decided to help them back to the nearest city on a 10-day trek to Baldur's Gate. When they arrived at Baldur's Gate, they found that the city was under lockdown due to the flood of refugees. But luckily, some of our members were members of the Flaming Fist, and they were able to get an audience with Flame Zaj of the Basilisk Gate, who sent them on a mission to solve a set of murders happening in the outer city. Solving these murders would then gain them entry into the inner city. Having satisfied Zaj's request, he then sent them on a mission to solve a simultaneous set of murders happening in the inner city. After doing some sleuthing around, a fight with some pirates, they eventually came to a bathhouse and found a hidden dungeon beneath the bathhouse, filled with cultists who worshipped the Dead Three, Bane, Ball, and Merkel. There were a whole bunch of fights in this dungeon. One of our characters died, and everybody else had to retreat out of the dungeon. When they retreated, they learned that one of the Dukes of Baldur's Gate was murdered, and eventually made their way back into the dungeon to confront these cultists, and were able to clear the dungeon. And when they did clear the dungeon, they found a large conspiracy that had unraveled itself because they met Mortlock Vanthampur in the dungeon, the son of Duke Vanthampur. Mortlock informed the group that his mother and his family, along with his two brothers, are all Zarielites, that they worship the Duchess of Avernus, Zariel, and that they've been in league with the Dead Three cultists with these murders that were happening in the city. At the same time, while investigating the Cult of the Dead Three, the party has also been investigating the Cult of the Dragon, because there is a close connection with the Cult of the Dragon and one of our party members, as the Cult of the Dragon had kidnapped dear friends, almost family, of one of our party members. So they decided that investigating the Cult of the Dragon was an urgent concern, and decided to go off and do that first. That led them to tumble down outside of the city, where they came across a local tavern and found that the proprietor of the tavern, that his granddaughter was missing, and he was scared to really talk about the happenings in the tavern. They were eventually able to find a hidden entrance beneath the tavern that led them through a series of tunnels and into a cave system, where they encountered more cultists of the dragon. And that's where I'll kind of leave off with the campaign overview. And in a little bit, we'll have one of our characters, whoever's lucky enough, give a recap of specifically the events that happened last session. But first, let's get into some character introductions. So, Igvis, if you want to start, tell us a little bit more about Igvis and what he's all about.
Hello, I'm Manny. I play Igvis. He's a winged tiefling monk and Gauntlet of the Flaming Fist. The family that was kidnapped was the family, like the wife and son of my dear departed friend. And while going through, my whole goal was just to protect them, keep them safe, keep them fed, and protect them. I have now saved the wife. I'm now currently looking for the son.
Perfect. Nile?
Hi, I'm Horace. Play Nyle. Uh, Nyle is he's an old member of the Flaming Fists who got moved up to working for the Watch, the city. After the Duke was assassinated, his dear friend, he took his bereavement leave and is now trying to find out who did this and why. Um, he's gone and hired basically this party of adventurers in hopes that since they have some connections to a lot of the cult activity in Baldur's Gate, in the city that he loves, that maybe he might be able to find out who it is and bring them to justice. And that's it, yeah.
Elias?
I play Alais. He is a fairly young human who just claims to be a bard. There's some sketchiness about that, including the fact he knows healing magic, but that's his story, and he stands by it a surprising amount of the time.
And Mariana?
I'm Bees. I play Mariana, a water genasi shipless pirate who's kind of just going along right now. And totally don't worry about the horn that summons a water elemental.
All right. So at the beginning of every session, I have all of the characters roll a single d20 in Foundry, and whoever gets the lowest is the lucky winner and gets to recap from their character's perspective the events of last session. So you can all do that now. And Igvis got a 1, and I really hope that stands because it would be just fitting.
Oh my god.
Mariana,
I have also gotten
too.
a 1.
All right. Igvis 1, Nile 14. We're just making sure that Nile and Elias don't get 1, and they don't. So Mariana and Igvis, if you want to go ahead and roll off. Oh, 16.
2.
And a 2. All right, so it's Mariana this time. So yeah, Mariana, whenever you're ready, take it away and recap for us the events of last session from Mariana's perspective.
Alright, so we entered through the open dragon skull door into a cavernous room, finding the dragonborn Resmir on a throne with Engelbert, the boy that Igvis has been looking for, looking not quite right up there with her. Tried to talk to them, didn't go great, and ended up in a fight with also a bunch of fish people. Big surprise. Not sure why that happened. And Mariana got a fun new toy that summons a water elemental that nobody else has questioned yet, and we're going to leave it that way. So we got Resmir pretty good, but eventually she fled with Engelbert in apparently a plane shift. So we have no idea where to find them. We found what we needed, got some much needed money. Well, I think it's much needed. Left, and maybe Anarian and I caused some extra trouble, but it's fine. We succeeded in the end, and it's totally fine, and don't worry about the one that ran away and warned everybody. And we rested.
Perfect. So yeah, let's get right into it. Actually, before I switch maps here, I do want to say just a little bit of a retcon from last session. So the cantrip mold earth, so it actually can't do what you were doing with it with stone. So it's not like stone shape. So I know you were trying to block off the passages with mold earth, but it actually only works on like loose dirt. For the purposes of right now, we're just gonna say it happened. So you know,
I mean, we could argue that there's enough loose dirt on the ground because this is a cavern. It's
right, but it doesn't like make walls and pack together and stuff like that. It just it basically digs. Basically, what you can dig with a shovel, you can
Well, yeah,
move with
but
mold earth.
that's how I envisioned it. I wasn't like stone. I wasn't like shaping the stone. I was just like moving a bunch of dirt in place to the point where it fills the ceiling.
All right. So yeah, we'll say that there are walls of loose dirt in the hallways where you put them. For right now. But okay, let's go ahead and switch maps. So as that loads here for you, so you left off resting. You had molded earth, a bunch of hallways, Nile, and then you guys decided to take a long rest while you were going to take watch. You had molded earth over here to the lower right here to the southeast, the hallway that went to the Dragon Skull room, and then all the way back at that intersection, you had molded earth on both of those hallways. You were able to successfully rest. If you haven't already, you can all apply long rest to your characters. And yeah, you wake up after 8 hours, and tell me what you want to do.
Still paused.
Oh, it is paused. Unpaused.
For me, as soon as I wake up, I'm just gonna like stay next to Karina here and wait till she wakes up.
Elias is actually gonna take a look and see if she seems healthy again.
Yeah, and you had looked before she fell asleep, Elias, and she seemed healthy. You guys had healed her up. She got some sleep, and as she wakes up, she is still in good health. There doesn't seem to be anything necessarily wrong with her health-wise physically. So she does wake up, by the way, Karina, with the rest of you, and she says, "Oh, Igvis, is that you? Where are we? Where am I?"
There's a lot to explain. The best I can tell
And then
you
she
at the moment.
interrupts you and says, "Engelbert, where's Engelbert? They took him."
I'll just put my hands like on her shoulders and be like, Engelbert isn't here anymore. There's a lot of things to tell you. He is not dead. Let me lead with that. It seems like the cultists need him for something, and they left.
But where did they go? We need to find him, my boy. He's all I have left. All I have
agree.
left of Zabron.
I know. I didn't want to let him go, but I don't know if you met them. Did you meet a black dragonborn while you were down here?
No, I met no dragonborn or dragon creature while I was here. I was kidnapped by these humans in masks, and they brought us here. Yes, I remember now. They brought us here, and I was chained to a wall, and then they took him. They took Engelbert from me, and I don't know where they brought him.
I can tell you he's no longer in this cave. I wish I could hunt them down, but I don't know where they went. I will find him, I promise, but we can't stay here any longer. There's still cultists in the area.
Roll me a persuasion, like this, at advantage.
I'm gonna need that advantage. 18.
All right. And, your words seem to calm her a little bit. You can tell that she's really starting to get anxious, especially at the mention that Engelbert isn't here and you don't really know where he is. But you are a trusted friend, and she seems to lean on you. and she says, "I trust you, Igvis. I do. I know you'll do everything you can to find him."
For now, let me do a quick introduction of the merry band of misfits that are around me.
So, because you guys are talking, while you guys are talking, Nile actually walked out to start uh, clearing out the entrances and doing some scouting.
Okay.
And Mariana followed him just because.
Elias was actually waiting on standby because he had some questions for when Igvis had her calmed her down.
So I'll start then by introducing the misfit next to me, Elias. He means well, mostly.
Hello, ma'am. I'm sorry to ask you this given your distress right now, but a good friend of ours had their granddaughter taken. Small girl. Have you seen her? Have any inkling where she might be?
Yes, there was a young girl. Here they, and she kind of like stops for a moment. They cut her finger off. I think they were going to send it to him as a warning of some sort. Her loved ones, and then they took her. They took her a day before they took my Engelbert.
We found you, like, and I'll point over in this direction.
Mhm.
Down that cavern. Did you see where they might have taken her?
I was in that room with Engelbert and her. All I saw was they take her out of the room. I don't know what happened to her after that.
It's okay, ma'am. Elias is going to look at Igvis now. Do you think we have the time to escort her out of here?
Whether or not we have the time is irrelevant. I'm taking her out. You
I
can
quite
stay with
agree.
her.
No, I intend to make sure. Allow me to just escort quietly in this case, good Ignis. I have ways of making sure we're not tracked. If you'd like.
I'll be back in just a minute. Karina, you can stay with these three. They'll keep you safe. I'll be back in just a minute.
All right.
And I'm just gonna look at Mariana because she's clearly following me. So you said you killed some people down this hallway.
Mm-hmm.
How many were down this hallway?
3. Killed 2.
So there's one left.
Maybe.
There's one left of the original group that you were fighting. And what of the bridge?
Lightly charred. As in, no longer operational.
Ah,
Maybe Igvis could fly down and get it, and we could fix it? I don't know if we can fix it.
there has to be a way to get to the other side.
You want me to do what with a bridge?
Oh, hello, Igvis. Good
Hello.
morning. I want to make sure that I at least find the girl that I was requested to, and maybe clear out any remaining cultists I can find. There's a bridge that they destroyed, it would appear, based on what I'm being told. So Mariana suggests that you fly and get um, a piece of the bridge to bring it back up to fix it.
We cut it
Or
right
I
at the very
could
end.
Or I could just fly you guys across the gap, I suppose. But if you wanted exit strategy,
He is wearing full plate.
you can't weigh that much.
Clearly, you've never tried to carry a gleaming suit of armor quickly away from a place to smuggle somewhere.
Before we do that, think I could leave for just a couple hours? The mother's still here, and I want to get her out of this place.
You don't have to ask me permission for that. You can just do that.
Mariana just shrugs.
The rest of your plan's on hold till I get back. Yeah.
We'll figure something out with the bridge. See if we can't repair it at the very least while you're gone.
Oh, and Elias is insisting on coming with me.
Of course he is. Well, I mean, we'll have Kel and Anarian if we need any combat things. It's probably better if you go at least with someone else anyway. And who else better than the person that will probably give me a headache right about now?
Okay, I'll be back in a few hours then.
Let's go brainstorm how to fix this bridge.
Kind of honored that you don't consider me the one most likely to give you a headache.
You're more sensible than Elias is.
We'll
Yeah.
see.
All right, so Igvis, you return back to the rest of the party, and what do you do or say?
I'm just going to walk over to Karina. Karina, if you'll come with me, let's get you out of here. I want to keep you safe, and I'm gonna leave you with the fists for now. I don't think your home is.
Okay, I trust you, Igvis.
I got a promotion, so I should have a larger set of barracks that you can stay in.
Well, real quick before we make sure this.
Okay, really quick, what?
Does Igvis have dark vision?
I do.
Okay, because you're gonna want at least one person with dark vision guiding the two humans.
I also have a torch on me. I don't know why, but I do.
Well, I figure we can follow you and make a group stealth.
Whatever you want to do. If you're going to use your blessing, by the way, please do it for Karina. I think I won't need it as much.
Yeah, let's count her as having blessing of the trickster for now.
Okay.
And then we'll just spend the next couple hours getting her out of here and situated with the fists. I don't know if we need to roleplay all of that.
Okay. Sounds good. So just to clarify, you're gonna bring her out. You're gonna leave Tumbledown, go back into the city, and who would you go to?
I would go talk to Salad, probably
Okay.
at the Basilisk Gate, and then arrange for her to stay in my barracks that I'm currently not using.
Okay. So,
And then also hand her all the gold I have on me so that she can at least keep herself fed and clothed and all of that.
okay, let's say that takes about 2 hours for you to do all of that.
Fair enough. And I will have 0 gold.
Okay, so you, Elias, and Karina are out of the picture currently.
And if it makes any difference, she now has 77 gold on her.
She don't get robbed.
She can keep it. I don't give it to her till we're in the barracks. It's fine.
But so I'm going to look at this bridge. This broken bridge. Now, how is it broken? Is it
We burned the ends here.
okay.
Yeah, so basically, this end of the bridge was burned and the entire bridge swung down. So the other side is still attached. So you basically, well, you can't see because your light doesn't reach that far. But Mariana can see on the other side of the chasm, the rope bridge basically dangling down and down. And you can see the bottom because you have 120 feet of the rope bridge. But just so you know, you cannot see the bottom of the pit with your dark vision.
We could try this guy's robe.
Is what robe?
I think that's how they fly. I could be wrong.
I don't want to attempt that. So DM, do you think I would be able to use like what's the distance to where the burnt end is like sitting on the other side?
Yeah, so I would. Mariana will tell you it's 40 feet.
Meanwhile, Mariana's gonna be like pulling off the robe and just kind of inspecting it.
Okay. Yeah, you are inspecting it. Give me an intelligence check or knowledge arcana.
I know nothing at all.
It looks like a robe, you think?
So can I does light have to stick on something specifically or can it float in the air?
No, it has to stick to something, an object.
This ain't no
I
dancing
could fire a
lights.
crossbow bolt.
You could do that.
Yeah, if you want to do that, so I want to cast light on a crossbow bolt and then maybe shoot it across, or have Mariana shoot it across.
Like to the general area of like where it's dangling.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I can do that.
All right.
Okay, so I can see to the other side, right? So
Yeah, so you can see what your light here allows you to. Now, when you light, you can only keep up one at the same time, right?
I believe so, yeah.
So your light does go out, but there is a light on the other side. So that's what you see now, basically.
Okay. So by looking over there, are they like posts that are like stamped into the ground and that's how the bridge was constructed? Or is it like stuff underneath? You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, it's anchored at the other end by large metal stakes in the cavern floor. And on your end, those stakes are still in the cavern floor, but the rope bridge has been burnt basically from them.
Okay. I'm gonna take the 50 feet of rope I have left. Can I make a lasso and try to lasso the other end on one of the stakes?
You want to lasso it? Yeah, give me a dex attack roll at disadvantage.
I'll offer my 50 feet of rope as well to try and help.
Yeah, so you try to lasso with your rope and you miss, and it falls to the ground in the pit, but you're holding the other end.
Okay, I'm gonna pull it up and I'm gonna hand the rope to Mariana and be like, could you try to get the other end and pull tight?
I guess? And that's Dex at disadvantage?
Dex at disadvantage.
Yeah.
So you are unable to do it as well.
You said you had 50 feet of rope as well, right?
Yeah.
Can I borrow that actually?
I already offered it to you.
Okay. So I'm gonna tie a bunch of knots. Make sure they're taut.
I also wanted to light my lantern for Nile and set that on the ground.
Okay. So you said you're letting a lantern on where we're at?
Yeah, hooded lantern.
And the hooded lantern is how many feet?
30 feet.
Is it like
30
a
feet
cone?
bright and then 30 feet dim.
Because it's hooded, it's like a cone, right?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Hooded just means that I can lower the hood to reduce the light and dim it to 5 feet.
Yeah, it's just it casts it in a 30-foot radius. Yep, nothing about
Okay, then.
a cone. All right, so that light is on the ground.
So I'm gonna tie off the rope to one of the metal stakes over in this ground over here,
Okay.
and I'm going to attempt. I'm gonna throw it down, and I'm going to attempt to see if I can't climb down the chamber a little bit.
Okay. So Mariana, you know
Um,
you can't see the bottom.
Yeah, I was gonna say 100 feet of rope is not gonna get you to the bottom.
No, but it might get me closer.
To what end?
Well, there's something down there. Do I hear any water or anything?
You do not hear any water.
This cave makes no sense. There's water that flows in this general direction from a different part of the cave, and it doesn't. Ugh.
We have moved very far south, comparatively to the river.
And I will say that you let me retcon that a little bit. You don't hear like flowing water. But you do hear like dripping. Like faint dripping. Like you might hear in a wet cavern.
Let me just check something real quick. Hmm. Is there any loose dirt? I'm assuming on the cavern floor.
So the whole cavern is stone. I mean, there's probably very little loose dirt on the floor. That might be natural to a cavern, but the whole thing is stone. Obviously, it's not. It's a natural cavern. It's not like squeaky clean, right?
I'm going to take out a gold coin and just toss it over the side. And I'm going to try to listen for when it either hits the bottom or there is no hitting the bottom.
Say that again. When you're gonna take out a coin.
And I'm going to flick it into the abyss area. And I'm just going to listen and wait to hear if I can hear it actually hit the ground. And if so, I'm counting seconds until it hits the ground.
Okay. Um. So loading. So you count how long it takes, uh, and it takes about 2 seconds, 2 to 3 seconds to hit. And when it hits the coin, you actually hear it plop. It seems to plop into some sort of liquid.
So there's water below. 2 seconds. Can I make an intelligence check to get a an idea based on like the math of the how much the coin weighs
Yeah, yeah.
to see?
Give me an intelligence check.
Remember, it wouldn't depend on the mass of the coin, though.
You're not sure.
I'm going to get another coin out.
All right.
I'm going to cast light on the coin
Okay.
and toss it in, and then watch it go down.
Okay. So you watch and the light goes down really, really far. And then the light is pretty small by the time it reaches the bottom, and then you see it plop into black liquid. There's no real good color to the liquid. And then it sinks beneath the surface, and the light itself goes out.
Okay, so that means the water is also very deep. That's unfortunate. I'm trying here. I really am.
And as I typed in the sidebar, Mariana's just sitting there, swinging her feet. If somebody really wanted to believe it, they could think that she was contemplating on how to help, but she's not.
Do you have any ideas? Or are you just going to watch me struggle through this?
I mean, I have an idea, but it kind of relies on flying. Other than that, eh.
Let me see the cloak.
It's back there. It's kind of just fabric, I guess.
Can I do like an Arcana check from the cloak to see if it's anything special?
Sure.
I'm rolling like garbage today.
You concur with Mariana that it may indeed be a cloak.
I mean, super low thread count. It just does not seem comfy.
I'm going to equip said cloak.
Okay. You can do that. You can put it on.
Flap your
And
arms.
it seems to have like harder, like the edges of the cloak seem to be lined with something that's a little harder, so you could like grab the edge of the cloak and kind of flare it out, and it would kind of keep its rigidity. But otherwise, it seems like a cloak.
Yeah, you could totally just flap really hard and you'd probably make it. Sure, it'd be fine.
I'm going to pull up the rope that I had here that's tied to the middle stake. I'm going to tie the other end around my waist.
All right. So this is 2 ropes put together, so it's 100 feet?
Yeah, it's 100. It's 100 feet.
Okay.
Are you sure you don't want to make that 50 in case you fall?
No, this is again. It's tied. So I'm going to reiterate. They're still tied at the end of the stake, but it's tied together.
Yeah, but if it doesn't work and you jump, then you will fall 100 feet rather than 50 before the rope goes taut.
That's fine.
Right.
What difference does it make anyway?
About 50 feet.
Eh.
And a lot of rope burn.
All right, you're able to do that
Good.
though. So you tie.
Mariana, come here.
Why?
Just, I need you to trust me for a moment. I need you to hit me as hard as you possibly can.
Okay. That's not very hard, but I'm going to try.
That does nothing. That's not. I need you to hit me. Come on. I know that you're like your kin want to absolutely destroy the watch and anybody who's ever stopped them in the bay. Hit me.
You're not very motivational. But she'll wind up and get ready to try again.
Can I give her advantage to hit me?
Sure.
Is strength good for that? Is that cool as an option?
Yeah, that works. And if you want her to hit you, I mean, she can hit you.
Let
she
me
doesn't
describe-
have to hit your armor class, but
Let me describe what I am attempting to do, so that I guess by the description of the spell, I'm attempting to allow her to hit me so I can use silvery barbs to give me advantage on my next check that I'm about to do, because I'm about to do something real stupid. And you tell me if that's allowed before I continue this
okay,
thought
silvery
process.
barbs you're trying to use.
Yeah, because she's going to say to you, if you make me do this again, I'm going for the soft spots.
Can you use? Oh, you can choose yourself. Okay. No, I mean, I'll let you do that. So if you want to use silvery barbs, and then she'll roll damage on you for her unarmed strike.
That sounds fine.
Okay. So go ahead and roll. I believe it should just automatically be on your character sheet. What's your unarmed strike damage?
Zero.
Is it 0?
It's
Isn't
zero.
it? It's a minimum of 1 though, isn't it? Because it's 1 and then plus your strength, which is for your case -1, so it's always a minimum of 1.
My strength is -1. My
I thought it-
unarmed strength is just a flat 0.
I just thought it was always at least 1. Like 1 was the minimum.
Feel like that would make sense. Otherwise, what, you can just punch anybody forever and it'll never hurt.
I mean, like, you could argue that, like, there are people that don't have the strength to make it hurt. Because,
I
like,
mean,
you're
at some
like
point
a
it's gonna hurt
5-year-old
somebody.
child, right? Can hit you a bunch of times and it would be fine.
Now,
I mean,
listen,
eventually you'll get a bruise,
I
though.
have 2 children under the age of 5, and I can tell you that they could absolutely hurt.
Yeah, they're
hitting.
stronger than you think.
Just for now, I'm gonna say it at least does 1 damage. So you would take 1 damage, Nile. And then you can use your silvery barbs.
All right. And then I'm going to look at the cavern. I'm going to regret this. I'm going to push off the wall, get a running start, and jump and attempt to get to the other side.
Mariana is baffled but watching with some excitement.
Okay, so you're gonna push off, jump, and try to get to the other side. And what are you doing when you jump off? Are you doing anything, or just just jumping.
I'm trying to use the cloak to make like the wings
Yeah, so
and
like
such.
describe like what you're doing with the cloak.
Um. So as I'm running, right? So when I get about there, I'm gonna push out the cloak as if like to push out wings, right? And I'm able to flap as I like, bring myself closer, bringing my center of mass closer, and then push
I-
off the edge of this.
Before, I'd like to like kind of go back just a little bit, and as he tied himself with the rope, I'd like to give him some tips there. Because I mean, on a ship, it's with tall masts and stuff. Like you're gonna know knots for like kind of like a harness, basically. I kind of want to help do that, so that at least if he does fall to the end of this 100-foot rope, it's not going to be all pressure in one spot. Just before anything, you know.
All right, sounds good.
But yeah, I would push out and like again as I'm coming up, trying to like flap and extend the wings, moving forward in hopes to get to the other side somehow.
Okay, sounds good. Um, so you do that, and you jump off. And what's your strength score?
It is a 15.
15. So you actually jump out because you're pretty strong. 15 feet. Um, all the way out into the center there. And you open up those wings and you are ready to fly. And then the realization comes that you have no lift. And you fall down into the darkness. So I want to do two things. One, I want to see how well you tied those knots. So go ahead and give me a survival check with advantage because Mariana decided to give you some tips.
Does not matter.
All right. So sounds good. So you are going to fall, and as you fall all the way towards the end of the rope, um, you have an opportunity to do something right here as you're falling. Is there anything specifically that you would like to do? If you have a reaction that you can do, or if you want to describe what your thought process is, or if you're just going to kind of let yourself fall and hope the rope catches you.
What are your final words? Just kidding.
So I'm going to attempt to, because I feel like my Nile's smart enough to know that there is a way to kind of slow your descent, and like try to see if he can't, like do that, while also kind of pulling on the rope to get closer back to towards the wall. Because then, if at least he can just like basically slow how much he's falling, it won't, hopefully, won't put as much force onto the rope.
Are you wearing gloves?
Yes.
So
That's good.
you're gonna try to slow your fall with the rope, like grabbing onto the rope and swinging against the wall. Is that basically what you're trying to
Yeah.
do? Okay, give me an athletics check.
Okay. Fine.
All right, so you're gonna take half falling damage from this, and we will say since
Wait
you
a minute.
went-
I had silvery barbs, right? Can I use the advantage there because it's a skill check?
yeah, go for it.
Never mind. I guess I'm still getting a 15.
All right, 15 it is. Um, so we will say that you effectively grab hold of it. We're gonna roll a 1d10. How about that? It's 100
Okay.
feet long. Every one is 10 feet. And whatever we roll, that's how far down you're able to kind of grab onto the rope and secure your grip.
Okay.
And that's the fall damage that you'll take, but you'll take half of it. So 50 feet. So about halfway down the rope, you're able to kind of secure your grip as your hands kind of grind up against the rope, and you feel the jerk 50 feet down. So this is this much damage, but you're going to take half of this because you saved. So you take 5 points of damage.
Fucking easy.
And that was a pretty low roll. I rolled 3 1s from there. 3 1s and a 2.
I'll fucking take it. So as this all plays out, I want you to know that, like, the whole time Nyle is calm. Like, there's no like, there was a realization, but it was more of like a calm adjustment. There was no moment in which there was hesitation or fear. It was mostly just it was literally just like a moment of, oh, okay, I need to adjust and fix this. This isn't going to work.
So
Perfect. And
Mariana's
so
gonna
you
walk.
grab that rope 50 feet down and you swing, and now you are down 50 feet, holding onto the rope, your feet up against the wall as you're looking up 50 feet above. And you can see the light at the top because there is still a light up there.
Can I see is the light still, because now that I'm closer to the water, can I see the light of the coin at all?
You cannot.
Okay.
So Mariana picks up the lantern and kind of leans over the edge and just, you good?
And technically, you don't see the light on the other side of the cavern because you cast light on the coin. So that would have gone out.
I'm never better. Getting a good jump in is... It's been a minute.
Good, because that was fucking hilarious.
You say that, but I have lots of gold. You would have lost a lot of gold.
What, you're just gonna give me all of your gold?
No, but I'm going to give you a portion of it.
Okay. I mean, there's so much here. But sure. And she's gonna set down the lantern and like, can you get up by yourself?
Oh,
Or-
100%.
Okay, cool. And
I might
she's
be
gonna
old.
sit down and start swinging her legs again.
But... And Niall's just going to kind of listen again. Can you hear the water more clearly now that he's closer?
You cannot hear. I mean, you can definitely hear dripping louder in this chamber. It kind of echoes around all sides of you, dripping water. You don't hear flowing water, if that's what you're asking.
Okay. So I know there is flowing water, but I don't hear it. I'm closer, so it's not raging. It's
Well,
still...
it's not necessarily flowing. There could just be a pool of water down there.
No, that's fair.
Underground lake or something.
So... First things first. I'm going to take... I'm basically going to use some of the rocks and take like 1 point more of damage. And take out because I still have my backpack on, which I think is funny out of this whole thing.
Still have your backpack, still carrying like a couple hundred gold, still wearing full plate.
Yeah. So, and what I'm going to do is taking out some of the rations, bleeding on the rations, and then tossing them out into the water, or into the chasm into the water.
And Mariana's just watching you do this all down there, like, what?
So you're throwing some of your rations out into the water.
With blood on them.
Okay.
Specific.
I got you. Okay.
Any reaction whatsoever?
No. So you can't actually see the bottom, but you do hear, plop, 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 little plops far down at the bottom of the cavern.
Okay. Well, it's not a shark pit at the very least. And with that, I'm going to calmly try to climb up the rope.
Okay. Sounds good. Give me an athletics check.
It is a 15.
Sounds good. And you are able to climb the rope. What's your movement speed? 30?
Yeah, 30 feet.
Okay. So you're able to get 30 feet up the rope. Give me one more athletics check.
10.
10. Okay. Sounds good. You're able to climb the rope. All the way to the top.
I had to be moved over there.
Yeah. I will put you there.
You know what they say? Fortune does favor the bold. I hear that often in taverns. Well, I can certainly, with as much certainty as falling into a cliff would, off a cliff would give, this cloak does not provide the ability to fly.
You don't say.
Unless you happen to want to try.
Nah, I'm good here.
You're the one who probably could swim down there if you needed.
I may be good in water, but that doesn't mean I like swimming in unfamiliar cave lakes.
I am going to lay on hands myself.
Okay. How many points are you giving yourself back?
7, so I'm back to full.
Okay.
Okay. So flying is not an option unless Igvis is here. Unless you want to give it another go in trying to get the rope to be lassoed. That's not an option.
And Mariana's just kind of squinting at the other side, like she's doing math in her head, but she's definitely, like, she doesn't do math at all. She can count coin and that's it. So she's kind of like, it's an effort she is making in her head here. I can put a tentacle over there.
That's nice.
At this point, Kel and Anarian come up behind you. And Anarian says, what's going on here?
Ooh, could you, like, turn into a bird and, like, carry a rope?
That is something that I can do, yes.
Do you want to do that? Wait, no, hang on. Getting a rope over there does not mean we can get over there.
Oh, well, if we could potentially vault over there. Stretch the muscles.
Vault?
Oh, vault. No, what, like shimmy? Would you prefer?
Like climb the rope?
Well, yeah, like climb across.
I think that's very different from vaulting. Maybe Anarian could just pick up the bridge instead. And bring it here.
Actually, he can't
Okay.
wild shape into a flying creature. Yeah, he's not high enough level for that. I can't do anything that's flying.
Could always potentially throw you over there.
Maybe I might be able to do something that climbs.
Okay, so out of character, does that mean that like the ceiling clearly connects to the other side?
The ceiling clearly connects to the other side. Yes, so there is a ceiling to the cavern, and it covers the whole length of the cavern, over the pit and the places that are not pit. The walls, come to the edge of the pit, right?
Okay. The problem is not it's not you getting over there. It's getting the rest of us over there.
Right. Well, that could be a problem, but I suppose maybe I could uh become a spider and get to the other side, and then maybe you can throw me the rope, and um I can tie it off on the other side, if that would help.
You know what? Screw it. There's nothing. There's not other things. I already jumped off. I've done a lot today.
It was kind of funny. But if he goes over there, then he's alone over there. And how many times can you even do that in a day?
Um, I I can do it more than once, twice, I believe.
Well, if we're gonna go over there, that might be our only option since Igvis is not likely to be back for some time, and it's not like Dragon Kel can fly us over.
I mean, we could always, like,
Hal just huffs when you say that.
always shoot a rope over tied to an arrow, but then that's not stable enough for anything, so an Arian would have to tie it off. And I'm still not confident in all of our ability to do that.
Well, I don't see. I don't see any other plans being made.
Look, I'm not a planner, I'm more of a criticizer.
I don't need a criticizer right now. I need a planner.
Well, and she just turns to
You
swinging
know,
her feet.
just someone who complains about not having a ship. It, the fact that you don't plan, what would you even do with a ship?
You think I was the one deciding what we did? That's not how a ship works.
You might be someone who'd like to decide what you did.
Eh.
Hal pulls out Night's End, which glows and provides some more blue light.
Thank you, my friend. That is very bright glow stick you have there. Hmm.
So, should I turn into a spider, or do we want to do something else?
Why are we doing this again?
Because we told a man in the village that we would find his daughter, or granddaughter. And not only are we keepers of our word, but we have one last cultist at the very least to kill.
We could always wait for Igvis and just come back later.
But that is more time that we're wasting not dealing with the problem.
Cal says, "Well, we've already waited 8 hours." What is another hour or two?
I'll go back to the common room.
And then Anarian says, I mean, I could still do the spider thing.
No, we'll reconvene after some time. I'm gonna go see if maybe there's another way, maybe through the waterway. And I'm gonna recast light on myself.
Just a reminder.
All these lights.
I'm
There we
sorry.
go.
I'm blind and old.
Simply have a pact.
There we go. You have your light. And you picked up your hooded lantern?
Oh, yeah, probably.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'd put that out and put it away.
I think we lost Elias. There he is.
What?
Hey. Guys, I'm back.
We noted.
Welcome.
It put you in AFK. That's so funny.
Yeah, if you aren't active at all in Discord for a while, it automatically moves you to the AFK channel that I have set up.
Yeah, I was kind of on standby waiting for it because, like, you know,
Yeah.
Elias is gone.
Yeah,
Just
we've
talk-
kind of been arguing about getting nowhere for a while now.
Just toggle your audio occasionally. At least that won't put you in AFK.
Man, I'm over here trying things. You know, I'm the scientific method. Jumping off of cliffs and shit. I'm 57. I can't be doing this. I believe there's a mold earth over here somewhere. Yeah, there it is.
Wait, you came through the wall! You can easily get to the forge room.
Mariana,
just
I need
ask
you to
the giant
speak.
spiders.
Mariana, I need you to whisper sweet nothings in this dragon's ear.
You don't know I speak Draconic.
I think last
What?
time it was Anarian that...
Oh, I didn't. Okay. Anarian, I need you to whisper to this dragon. Tell it we have gold. And to open.
Dear dragon...
You're also literally with a dragonborn. I feel like he's the obvious choice.
all right, great dragon on the wall. I have some gold. And open,
In Draconic.
please. Oh, okay. Yes, and then he will speak in Draconic, and the skull will open.
Also, I'm not sure what happened, but apparently I'm lost now. I can't see anything on the map.
Correct, because I removed your token.
Makes sense. I was like, why did everything go dark?
But I will put your token back on when you get back to the entrance.
Huh. Gold pit.
You do see that. It seems a gigantic pit, some 50 feet across, 40 to 50 feet across, to a back wall, and then another 50 to 60 feet in length, just full of piles and piles of gold.
Oh, wow! This is here.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I find that unlikely to believe that you didn't see this before.
Why would I lie? About
How deep is this water?
Well, you have your light on. It's about 30 feet.
Uh,
What are we looking for over here? Maybe I can be of some assistance.
that's a barrel, right?
That is a barrel, yes.
I open it. What is it full of again?
You found rations. There were a whole bunch of rations down there, and then you also found a whole bunch of other gear that you've already collected.
I
But the
dump out.
remaining gear is rations.
I'm gonna dump out all of it onto the ground and grab the barrel.
Okay.
we're doing this Hobbit style.
Ugh.
Now, up
You-
here, the water is flowing, by the way. So it's specifically flowing from down here, the southeast, to the north.
Can I cast light right over there?
Yeah. And before I make the light, is your plan to cast light, then cast it back on yourself?
It will be. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm just trying
So
to
then
see what's up there.
I'm not gonna do all of that. But up there,
Yeah,
basically,
the river does
the
end right
river
there.
continues going.
Okay.
And it's flowing in that direction as far as you can see with your light. And Mariana, you can specifically see it maybe goes another 60 feet and then it bends to the left.
What is your personal opinion of manning a ship?
Are you talking about the barrel?
This barrel, several barrels.
Well, first of all, it's the wrong direction.
I know it's upstream. I know it'll be a lot. But downstream tends to be less controllable. If we're going upstream, at least we won't fall down into a cliff.
I think we're confused on the meanings of up and downstream.
Yeah, to be clear, upstream would be to the southeast. The water's
Yes.
flowing
Okay, downstream.
from the southeast to the north. So
Yeah, we need
downstream
to
would
go
be
upstream.
going north, and upstream would be going to the
Okay,
southeast.
that I thought it was the other way around. My bad. Either way, um, I just say let's see where this goes. You know, take the barrel, go that direction.
How fast is this water flowing?
Not very fast. You can hear that the water from the southeast. It seems to be a little louder. Like maybe there's a quicker current coming from down that way to the southeast, and then it slows down as it gets into here.
So, like, if you were, say, floating on a barrel, you could stop. Like, if you reached out to the wall and got like a handhold, could you stop yourself?
Yeah,
Okay.
you could. It is possible. I mean, it is still flowing.
Dice are kind.
I mean, you would feel pretty confident, being around the water your whole life that you could. Whether or not others are as confident in the water.
I mean, what do you hope to accomplish by going that way?
Maybe there's another way around.
And once we get downstream, how do you intend to get back upstream if needed?
Well, if in terms of getting upstream, My thought process is that this cavern clearly extends throughout the entirety of the mountain. There are plenty of other caverns that I know of that expand through this mountain. If anything, there will be another exit.
Are you prepared for the river to go underground?
No,
Because it might.
but I don't know. I just want to get this girl and get out of here. I came here for Igvis, and then I get roped into other citizen problems, and it's my duty as someone who serves Baldur's Gate to serve her citizens. And I already lost to Resmir.
I mean, you lost to a bunch of fish, but sure.
The fish were being controlled by Resmir.
Speaking of, that could also be an issue. You know, giant unresolved sharks.
The amount of gold being here is an issue. It could attract a dragon. I.
These sound like reasons to leave.
I cannot leave without the girl. I know you're used to leaving a job when it's probably suits your fancy. I mean, you're clearly not pirating anymore.
Kel says,
I.
"You bore me. What are we doing?"
Oh, be quiet, Dragonborn. You're only satiated by killing more people, as evidenced by the head on your waist. To which you are glad I don't drag you into the jail myself. We'll wait for Igvis and see if we can't get across that cavern. Make do with hitting some rocks or something.
And Kel will, very well. And he will go and sit down on a mat, pull out his sword, and begin honing his sword.
Mariana's just rifling through various containers, mainly in hopes of finding a drink.
Nyle is actually going to he's going to remove his armor to just kind of reveal finer clothes. He's going to place his armor on the table there. Oh, feels good to get out of that again. And then he's just going to go over and kind of just start reading out of his book, out of his spell book. Or, not spell book, out of a book that he has on him. In wait for Igvis and Alais to return.
Sounds good. After maybe 30 minutes of you guys hanging around, Igvis and Alais, you guys are on your way back. So I've put you on the map so that you can see what's going on.
You might want to attach Elias to me, because
Yeah.
Elias will be able to walk through this.
Yep, so Elias is... you're just going to hold on to Igvis? You're not going to put on any light or anything, right?
No. Elias values stealth. You know, he's practical like that. I'm sorry, he's sensible like that. He's got to call out Bati. I'm sorry, Nile.
Ooh.
So as you come up there, Igvis, you come up to what looks like a giant stone door. of some sort. This is clearly not natural, like the rest of the cave is. It is a big worked stone door. Elias, you see nothing. But
I'm just gonna whisper to Elias, I definitely went the wrong direction. And turn around, because I'm just trying to get back to that main room.
okay.
That's right, we went right at like everything. I think here right led to the spiders, so I'm going up.
All right. As you go through there, Igvis, the wall behind you goes and closes, and you find yourself in what looks to be a dead end. In that dead end, all of a sudden, water comes pouring in and knocks you back all the way against the back here, against the back wall. Give me a dex save.
Oh my god, I don't remember my way through this area.
Can Alais also make a dex save?
So, Elias, you are on the other side of the door. As Igvis walks through the door, the thing goes between you.
Oh, I didn't even see that there was a door there. Okay.
There wasn't.
Yeah.
So I said door, but the stone itself went and closed. You didn't see a door. All right. So you gave me dex save of 11. So you're going to take full damage on this. So 12 points of bludgeoning damage as the water literally rushes in and boom, knocks you against the back wall. And now the room starts to fill with water. You notice at this point, sorry, I'm just going to turn the music up for a little bit more suspense here on stream. Give me a perception check, Igvis. All right. Elias, on your side, you see this appears on the door. You can see it because they glow, these symbols. And I don't want to say door. On the stone wall in front of you. So, Elias, I mean, it's pitch black for you. You heard, and then you heard the rushing of water on the other end. And then these glowing symbols appear right in front of you on the stone wall in front of you. What languages do you speak?
How do I check that? Is that under characteristics?
Yeah, on your character sheet. On the left side going down, it'll say armor, weapons, tools, languages, under proficiency in language.
Give me a moment. So left side. I speak Celestial and Common, so probably don't know.
So you don't understand these runes, but they are glowing there. Right now, what I want to do is that room starts to fill with water. Elias, Igvis, roll initiative for me.
Okay. Do I get to go?
Yeah, roll initiative for me first, and then we'll. Oh,
I see
you
that they
did,
got
but
a 20, but it didn't put them on the thing.
Okay, I will put you on manually. All right, so Elias, you're up first. You see those symbols on the door, and I will show them again for the stream. You have a round of actions. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna have to do the really basic thing as Elias of I'm gonna have to cast light on probably Igvis. Because he can't see anything and therefore can't come up with a
So
plan.
you can't see Igvis, so you can't cast it on him.
Then I'll cast it on my mace.
Okay, so I'm gonna put light on you. Okay, so after you have light on you, this is what you see. You see what you see there. It seems to be a dead end, and you don't see Igvis anywhere in sight. But you hear the rushing water, large amounts of rushing water, it seems, and you see this glowing wall.
So given my hand was on Igvis, is that in the same direction as him?
Yeah, it's in the same direction as him, absolutely. And you definitely felt the stone kind of slide and move your hand out of the way.
I already took my action for light, and I don't think I could investigate as a bonus action.
No. You would have to use your action to investigate.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything I can do here.
Okay. You can pass the turn if there's nothing else.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna pass the turn.
Basically,
for
your
now.
first turn is bam, you cast light, and you're like, what the heck is going on?
I mean, I feel like that's what it would be in this case, unfortunately.
Okay, Igvis, what would you like to do?
Can I inspect the surroundings real quick, see if there's anything on this side?
Yeah, go ahead and roll me a perception or investigation. 19. So, Igvis, what languages do you speak?
Abyssal and common.
Okay. You see these same runes on your side of the door, but they're smaller and they seem to be towards the bottom. So, Elias, your runes are like really large on your side, on the door, covering basically that whole wall. I keep saying door, the whole wall. The wall on your side, Igvis, towards the bottom are these smaller glowing runes, but you see these same symbols.
Okay. I think I'll just press one at random. The one right in the middle.
Right in the middle. Okay, so you press the one in the middle, and it glows, and then it arcs with electricity, which electrocutes the water. And you take 1 lightning damage.
Okay, and if I can, like, we'll call that my free interact. I'll use my bonus action to do a hand of healing on myself.
Okay, sounds good.
To heal 7. And I'll just yell, assuming Elias is still there, "Don't touch the center one!"
Okay, and Elias, you can hear that. It's very muted,
Elias-
though.
I don't know if
can
you can
tell-
see it, but don't touch the center one.
Elias is gonna yell back, touch the center one, and then he's gonna touch the bottom one.
Okay.
Particularly bottom middle.
Bottom middle. Okay, well, first, before you do that, Igvis, give me a dex saving throw.
It's at this point that I'm going to say that Nile puts back on his armor and is worrying that Igvis isn't back yet.
Okay, 13. So you're going to take half of this, Igvis. Basically, on the other side, you can see that water is rushing through this hole kind of up and in the wall, and debris, little tiny rocks are coming out, and you get pelted with a bunch of rocks, but you take half of this, so you take 1 point of bludgeoning damage from the little rocks. And then Alais, it's your turn.
So first, Elias is going to have done what he obnoxiously said he was going to do. Of say what? Don't touch the center. Touch the center one and touch probably the bottom one.
Okay, so you're going to touch the bottom one?
Yeah, bottom center.
Bottom center. So you touch the bottom center, and it goes, and an arc of lightning on your side, Igvis, comes out, and you take lightning damage. 1 point of lightning damage.
So how much of this can you take, by the way, Igvis?
And that is your free interact. Alais, so you still have a full turn. You have an action, a bonus action, move.
You don't know, Elias.
Because I know what Elias would do here.
And Elias, by the way, what you saw was just this rune went. It like started to turn a little blue, and then it turned red, and then it fizzled out. So you actually don't know about the arc of electricity.
Does do the runes stay off once they're done?
Yeah. So basically, you pressed it, and it lit blue for a second, turned red, and then went out. And right now, but sorry, I should say when I go went out, it went back to glowing the orange color that it is.
Okay. Did the one on Igvis's side do the same thing when he touched it?
So Igvis, you would have seen that same thing happen, but you wouldn't know that, Elias, because you're not on that side.
I guess
I know, but
I have
would
one other quick
presume
question. When he touched the bottom one, did I see the bottom one on mine also like change color and then the lightning hit me?
Yes.
Okay.
And what I want to know is, did I see it before? Did I see the rune change before he said, "Don't touch the center one"?
Yes.
Okay. So Elias would have inferred it at this point. Unfortunately, he doesn't speak the language, which is probably key to this. Can you display the runes again? Where can I check them?
Yeah, I will do that.
Try bottom. I'm sorry. I know what Elias would do because he's Elias.
Now you have a
what
full
would-
turn here, so you have a movement, you have an action, and a bonus action still.
Could I use a bonus action to just run my hand down and touch all the runes at once?
You're gonna. Well, it would be your action to interact with it, but you want to basically go and like roll your hands down all of them.
Well, first I'm gonna warn Igvis that I'm thinking about it. See what he says.
And remember, this is quick, right? This room is, from Igvis, your perspective, it's filling with water. You think, you maybe have a minute before the room fills with water, Igvis. Like, it's coming in fast. And Elias, this is all happening as Igvis is on the other side, like, yelling at you. So you don't really have time to kind of...
Yeah, Elias is gonna try to just down the whole thing.
Like, you could probably get, like, one sentence or two, right? Like, yell through the wall, he yells back, but you can't really have conversation back and forth for long, extended times here.
So Elias is going to just try to run his hand down. Yeah.
Okay. So you kind of start from the top and run your hand down?
Yeah.
Okay. As you go from the top, your hand immediately goes over the top center, and the same effect happens. It starts to turn blue, turns red, and then it goes back to its orange color, and you see that happen as well, Igvis. And you're going to take 1 more point of lightning damage. And you also notice, Alais, as you do that, none of the other runes light up as you roll your hand down. Only that top center one. It does its thing, and then it's done, and by that time, your hand is off the stone.
Okay, so we've eliminated 3 runes. I'm gonna cast Spirit.
Say again, you cut out there a little bit, Elias.
I'm deciding if, would I know if Spiritual Weapon could trigger one of these runes?
I mean, you don't know whether it would or not, but when you do press the runes, it seems like they kind of pop in a little bit to the wall, so you don't know whether Spiritual Weapon could activate them or not.
Can I make like a wisdom check on that one?
Sure, give me a wisdom check.
Elias is not particularly wise right now.
Yeah, I mean, you're not sure.
Alright. Elias is going to probably pass the turn here.
Okay, go ahead and pass the turn.
He's gonna tell Igvis to start pressing the other buttons, because one of them has to work.
Alright. Let's pass the turn in game for me. Igvis, you're up.
So for my free interact, I'm going to try a pair. I'm going to try and just hit the one in the top left and the second row all the way on the right at the same time, since they're the same symbol.
So the one at the top left?
Top left and second row all the way to the right. Since they're the same symbol, I'm going to try to hit them both at the same time.
Gotcha. So you go to hit them both at the same time, and nothing happens when you do that. Both your hands touch it at the same time, and nothing happens.
They don't light, they don't change color, nothing?
Nope. And that's your free interact.
Then I'll use my action to hit one of the other pairs. I'll do the one in the middle to the right and the one in the bottom center at the same time.
Middle right.
Right, like the little water flowing one in the right.
Yep, and the bottom
and
center.
one on the bottom.
Okay, so you hit those both at the same time using your action, and nothing happens.
I'll just call back. Pairs don't seem to do much. I'm not entirely sure, and I'll use my bonus action to heal myself again.
Okay.
So did he say pairs don't seem to do much then?
That sounds like what he said.
Alright.
And then at the end of the round, before you go, Elias, make me a dex save, Igvis.
19.
All right, so you're going to take half of this as rocks and pebbles continue to pelt you. So you'll take 1 point of bludgeoning damage.
Oh, did Igvis say which pairs he pressed, and did I see anything on my end?
All you heard is what he said, which was pairs don't seem to do much. You still have a movement, Igvis, if you'd like to take that, or you can stay by the wall.
How high is the ceiling, I guess?
15 feet.
Then I'll fly to the top to maybe not get pelted or shocked anymore.
Okay. You can do
And
that.
then that'll be the end of my turn.
All right, Elias, you're up.
So first is my free interact. I'm gonna just touch the bottom left.
Bottom left. Okay.
Yeah.
Same thing happens. This Igvis, you don't notice anything on your side as you're up at the top of the ceiling.
I can't see it electrify the water at all?
Yeah, it's all kind of rushing in, so you can't see through the water. And at this point, it's about 3 feet deep, the water in the cavern. So you actually can't see the rune that lit up on the bottom left.
So Elias is then going to use his action, because he has 2 hands. And he's going to try to time it so he's touching them in pairs at the same time. And he's going to try to touch the 3 pairs of 2s that we have.
3 pairs of 2. So explain to me how you're going to do it. I'll show the image again.
So first, Elias is going to kind of... How big is this thing?
Pretty big. It's probably 6 feet tall.
Okay, I kind of imagined it was smaller. So... Yeah, Elias is going to try to touch the top right with the top center.
Top right with the top center. Okay. With
Yeah.
But at the same time?
Yes.
Okay. You do that and nothing seems to happen. So that would be your action. You used your free action interaction to do the bottom left, your action to do those 2 at the same time.
Yes. Pairs don't do anything. Okay. Look like there's a real combination to them.
You still have a bonus action and a move.
Yeah, but I don't think I can really touch anything with those. And Elias wouldn't believe Igvis when he perceived he was in danger. How heavy does this rock look? Out of curiosity, how durable does it look? How breakable is it?
It looks like it's the wall.
Okay,
so I mean, it looks like you're looking at a stone wall, a dead end in the cavern.
Alright, and Elias doesn't think he could break that with his mace. I'm gonna end my turn for now.
Okay. Igvis, you're up.
I'll fly back down to the runes on my side.
Okay.
And I think I'll try a pair, but not of the same type. So I'll hit the one on the very center right, like the flowing wind one, and the one just above it. And I'll just hit those both at the same time.
Okay, I will...
Kind of like the J-ish shape.
The center right, so the flowing one.
The flowing
whatever.
wind, water, whatever it may
And
be.
then which other one?
The one just above it.
The J. Okay. And you're gonna try to hit them at the same time, or you're trying to hit them one with your free interact and one with your action.
Same time.
Okay. So as your free interact, you can hit both at the same time. You do that, nothing happens with the runes. And as you're flying down to do this, by the way, the water is close to 5 feet now. So you are boom, hitting them both at the same time, but you have to be in the water a little bit to do that.
Okay. And they did nothing?
They did nothing. You still
Can I
have
try-
an action and a bonus action.
Can I try and hit some sequentially quickly? So let's just say, because you said that they changed color a little bit. So I guess while one is red, I want to hit another one.
Yeah, you basically, mechanically, you can hit one with an action.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do... So if you look at the very center one, the one to the bottom left of it, so 4th row, 1st column.
4th row, 1st column. The one with the 2 dashes and the slanted line.
Right, the angled one.
Okay. So you hit that one with your action, and it goes... And you see that as well, Elias, that rune glow, that blue, red, and then back to the orange that it is naturally. And you take 3 points of lightning damage this time, Igvis.
Okay, and then I'll fly back to the ceiling to get out of the water and just say, just hit him quick!
So, can Elias rapidly hit, say, the top center, then top right?
One with one action, one with the other, basically.
Yeah.
So he's now. Can he do it before the blue glow stops?
Can he do it before the blue glow stops?
Yes.
Yeah, so I would say, like, I would let you have 2 hands, right? So I
Yes.
would let you do, like, 2 at the same time with your action, or 1 as an action, essentially. As he's kind of like, as you're doing this, they're pressing into the wall. So it's not just like rubbing your hand over it. You notice it's like actually pressing in. There's some sort of mechanism here.
So he's trying to do like a 1 then 2, so like a quick 1-2 before the shot comes off, just to confirm it's not matching patterns.
Yeah, so I would say that you can do 1 as your free interact, and then as your action you can do another one.
But what Elias wants to know is, does he think he's fast enough to hit the center and then the top, and then like another one before it fades completely?
Yeah.
All right, then I'll do that with the top center, top right.
Top center and top right. I'm just going to keep sharing this as you guys are doing it.
Yeah.
So top center and top right. You do that, and the top center glows, and then as it's glowing, you press the top right with your action. And they both do the same thing, just slightly delayed. So the top center one glows that blue, red, back to orange, and then the top right does the same thing. And at this point, Igvis, all the runes are beneath the water. So you can't actually see what's going on.
So Elias is going to yell back to Igvis. It's not a fast sequence game. Then I think I have to end my turn because I use both my actions.
Yep. Unless you wanted to move. You have a move.
Elias wouldn't leave Igvis in this situation. It's not who he...
Okay. Igvis, you're up.
At this point, I guess I'll just drop into the water. I'm going to try one more thing, I guess. I'm just going to hit like the ones that I think we haven't touched yet. So, second row, first column.
So, second row, first column. Okay, free interact. You do that. Zzz, for 1 point of lightning damage.
And fourth row, third column. The backwards P.
Fourth row, third column. Okay. Again, 4 points of lightning damage.
I'm just going to call back. I don't know what I'm doing here, but I'm running out of time. And I'll find another key.
And it being some time, Niall's going to just kind of start heading back towards where they were coming from.
Nyle, put yourself in roll initiative for me. And Hand of Healing is what kind of action, Igvis?
It's a bonus.
Okay. And you, so you do that, and then are you flying back to the top? Did you say that?
Yeah, I'll fly back up to the top.
Okay. Elias. So, Nyle, don't move yourself yet back down or anything. You'll act in initiative at this point.
Have we touched the bottom left yet?
I don't know. Have you?
I don't believe so. I'm gonna touch the bottom left.
Okay. So you touch the bottom left, and again, that same thing.
Yeah. I get the sense that this is something really easy that we're just not thinking of. And then he's gonna touch the kind of weird pie symbol one.
Weird pie symbol. So, like, which one?
Um,
Do like rows. So, row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from top to bottom.
Alright, I'm just gonna do rows as like letters, columns as numbers. So D2.
D2. Okay.
D2.
Gotcha. So, fourth row center. I gotcha. So, A is row 1, B is row 2, etc. And
Yeah.
columns from left to right. 1,
Yeah.
2, 3. Okay. So, D2. You do D2 and the same thing. So that's your free interact and your action.
Yeah. And then I'm gonna yell, "Hey Igvis, could you read these?"
And you
If
can
I
respond.
could, I wouldn't be clicking randomly.
Fair point.
All right. Is that it, Elias?
Yeah, that's all I can do.
Okay, go ahead, pass the turn. Nile, take your movement.
I do
Or your
think
turn.
that Mariana probably would have followed Nile just because she's really bored of being here, but I also don't know exactly where he went.
There's my movement.
Okay, Igvis, your turn.
Going back in the water to try and get to this tablet. I'm going to click the one on the very bottom right.
Bottom right. So
E3, I suppose.
E3. Okay. So you do E3. This time, Igvis, as you hit E3, it glows blue, and it stays blue for a moment, and then it completely goes out. No glow.
Okay.
That's your free interact.
Okay, and then I'll hit. Sorry, I'm just thinking which one I should actually hit. Let's do A1.
A1. So you do
Oh
A.
no, sorry, A1. It's E1, the bottom left corner.
Bottom left. Okay. So bottom left corner, E1. You do E1, and it glows blue, glows red, and then goes back to orange, and a big bolt of electricity comes out. And as you do that, E3, that rune that was no longer glowing, goes back to glowing orange. And you take 1 point of lightning damage.
I think I'm getting somewhere. Start with that weird one in the corner. And I'll fly back out of the water as long as I can still get out of the water.
Yep. At this point, it's 7 feet. The water is.
So Elias is
So
gonna
basically,
press
every round, the water rises 1.5 feet.
Elias is gonna press E3 again.
So Igvis, anyway, that's your whole turn. You had no bonus action, right?
Not this turn.
Okay.
Should I also hop into the initiative then, since I'm with Nile?
You're with Nile.
Yeah, I tried to say I don't know if it didn't come through.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and throw yourself an initiative. Okay. Elias, you're up.
So Elias is first gonna press E3.
E3. Okay, you do E3. It glows blue, hums for a second, and then the rune completely goes out. It's no longer glowing at all.
Okay, and now after that, he's gonna try D2.
D2, the pie symbol.
Yes.
Okay, you do D2, and it glows blue, glows red, then goes back to orange. And when it gets to orange, E3 comes back to orange and starts glowing again.
Okay.
So that was your free interact, and then your interact. Nyle, you're up.
Okay.
Elias is gonna yell the not D4 to Igvis.
Okay.
I'll drop. It's my turn, right?
Yep, it's your turn, Igvis.
I'll drop back in the water. I'll hit E3. And then I'll hit, I don't know, B1.
Okay, so you do E3, the same thing. It glows blue, then goes out completely. Then you said which one?
B1.
B1. So you go to do B1, and it glows blue, glows red, goes back to orange, and then E3 goes back to orange, and you take lightning damage. You take 4 points of lightning damage.
Okay. Yeah, I'll use my last key.
Okay. Sounds good. 4 handy healing. Mariana, go ahead and move.
You can see it, so I don't have to call out to you. And I guess I get one more round of possibly not being shocked by Elias.
Yes.
That's
Sorry
very
about this, by the way.
fine.
Hey, to be fair, he's going to be shocked by literally everyone.
Elias, you are up. At this point, the water's 9 feet high, like this. Soon your feet are going to be touching even in the air.
So, E3 first.
Okay, so you do E3 with your free interact, and the same thing happens. It glows blue, then goes out completely.
I'm going to try E2 next.
E2. Okay, so you do E2, and E2 glows blue,
Glows red.
then goes out completely.
It went out completely?
Went out completely.
Alright, Elias is going to yell to Igvis that he thinks the next one to press will be C3.
Okay. Anything else?
Nope, that's
Now go ahead and move. Igvis.
I'll just drop into the water and hit, E3.
Okay.
Oh, not E3, C3.
Yeah, so at this point you have to dive under a little bit and the water's still rushing in. Give me a swim check, or an athletics check, I should say.
17.
Okay, so you're able to kind of dive into the water and swim down a little bit to where the runes are. And then tell me again what you do.
What is that, C3?
C3, the wavy lines.
Yeah, the pair with the one that just went out.
Yeah. Okay, so you do that one. It glows blue, glows red, and then glows back to orange. And as it goes back to orange, E2 and E3 come back and glow back to orange. And you take lightning damage. 1 point of lightning damage. So that's your free interact.
And then I'll hit E3 again. Fly back out and say, nope, not that one.
So which one did he hit? He hit C3?
Yeah, so you saw C3 glow up, do it, go out. You saw E2 and E3 come back and start glowing again. And then you saw E3 go out.
So to confirm, the one he hit was C3.
Correct.
Okay. So Alais is going to...
It's not
Well-
your turn. 1 second.
Yeah, so you go out. Mariana, you're up. Go ahead and move. Okay, Elias, you are up. Right now, it's 10.5 feet, the water, Igvis, up. So how are you...
I'm in the water no matter what, then.
Yeah, unless you, yeah.
As a monk, then, I'll fly to the very top and, pin myself against the wall
Okay.
as best I can. Prop
I
myself.
was waiting for you to say something like that. Okay, sounds good. It's getting really close to you, though. Elias, you're up.
So next I'm going to do... So E3 is currently, call it set. So I'm going to set E4. So the one right next to it again.
So there's no fourth row, you mean E2?
E2, I'm sure.
Yeah, E2.
Okay.
Gosh darn it.
So you do E2, it glows blue, and then it goes out completely. So right now,
Yeah.
E3 and E2 are both out.
And then I'm going to try B3.
So B3.
Yes.
Second row, third.
Yes.
So you do that one, and it glows blue, glows red, and then goes out, and then E2 and E3 both come back on, we'll say.
I'm going to yell not B3.
So, and you are not currently touching the water, Igvis. So that is your free interact and your action, Elias. You have a bonus and a move if you wish to take it, otherwise you can pass the turn.
Nah, Elias won't leave.
All right.
He's going to yell not B3, and we're going to hope that somebody shows up who speaks Draconic.
Now you're up.
Can he hear the rushing water at this point? I don't know where he's at.
Not at the moment.
Well, Elias is also literally shouting, so...
Is that your full movement, Nile? Nile, just so you know, when you get to that point, you do hear Elias yelling in the distance from the north hallway.
I forgot my mic is muted. Okay. Mariana, I think there's something going wrong. I'm gonna try to get around the corner and see.
Igvis, you're up.
Back in the water.
Okay, give me an athletics check.
19.
Okay, you're able to dive in and swim through the rushing water to get down to where you need to get down to. What are you doing?
I'll reset the 2 that we know. E3 and then E2.
E3 and E2. Okay, that's your free interact and your action.
And I'll fly back up to the top, prop myself against the wall again, hopefully one more round out of water, and say, just try them in order.
All right. Mariana, go ahead and move.
Hang on, I got confused on which direction I came from. Oh wait, no. Okay, never mind. I wouldn't have gone that way. Okay, all right.
So yeah, Nile went south. Elias, you are up. The water is now
So-
12 feet high, Igvis.
I'm gonna press E1 now.
E1. Okay, you press E1 and the rune glows blue and then goes out completely. That's your free interact.
I can't decide which one would make the most sense as next. I feel like D1 is the more likely safe choice.
D1?
D1.
Alright, so that's the one you
D
press?
as in dog. Yeah, D1.
Okay, so you press D1 and it glows blue, glows red, and then goes back to its orange, and E1, 2, and 3 both glow back orange again.
Yeah, I would say... Alright, so he's going to convey that to Igvis of... Third number is E3. I don't know the next one.
Alright. You can pass the turn when you're ready.
Alright, I'll do that.
Nyle, you're up. You hear Elias yelling from the north hallway. In front of you, the hallway goes south and north, and you hear him from the north. And if you're trying to talk, I can't hear you, by the way.
Ah, okay.
There we go. I can hear you now.
But probably. And that is where I will end.
All right. Igvis, you're up.
I'm just gonna call out to Elias and be like, I won't be able to talk to you anymore, and submerge. And I'm gonna stay in the water now.
Give me an athletics.
An 8.
Okay, as you dive into the water, the rush of water and the swirling torrents inside push you up against the back wall. Give me a dex saving throw.
9.
Okay, so you take full damage here. You're going to take 3 bludgeoning damage as it pushes you up against the back wall. And you can take an action to swim and kind of right yourself if you want by making a swim check.
I'll take the action to swim.
Okay. So go ahead and do an athletics check for me.
Natural 20.
Da-da. All right, we are back. Some technical difficulties there, but we are back up and running, I think. And good thing Foundry put us right back into initiative, right where we were. So Igvis, you had just righted yourself with that nat 20 on your swim check, and then you hit
Reset
E3. All right, and you are currently in the water. So you can go ahead and pass the turn when you're ready. Mariana, you're up.
Oh no. Which way would I have seen Nyle go?
North. Elias, you are up.
Okay, what's the current state of the buttons?
Currently, E3 is not glowing.
Okay,
We'll just
so
say it's not glowing.
I'm just gonna do the next two E buttons then.
Okay, you do that, and both of them do the same thing. They glow blue, and then they go out. And that is that.
I end my turn, I guess.
Okay, go ahead and pass the turn in game. Nyle, you are up. You have a full turn. Movement, action, bonus action.
Alais, what the fuck?
Elias is going to basically say we have to press these buttons in a sequence. We don't know what they mean. Igvis is on the other side. I think something's urgent, and I think he's in danger. I don't know how we got here. It was dark.
And DM, is this door like visible?
Yes. The door icon that you see there is the wall with the runes.
Oh, also,
So I'll just share them again. You, when you walk up, also see those runes on the other side of the wall, and currently the entire bottom row of runes is not glowing, but the rest of the runes are.
Can I make an intelligence check on it?
also gonna tell
Give
him
me
that
investigation. So yeah, intelligence, and you can use investigation.
Elias is also explaining everything we've managed to figure out about
that.
the room
That'll
so
be your
far.
action to do that. But you do investigation. You get an 18. So you're pretty confident that these runes need to be pressed in a specific order in order to disable whatever this is. So this is clearly a trap in your mind that can be disabled if these runes are pressed in a specific order. What languages do you speak?
Common and Dwarvish.
Okay. You recognize that this is draconic, but you can't speak it. So you don't understand it. But you recognize the runes as being draconic runes. But that's as much as you get with your investigation otherwise.
Oh, also, Elias shared everything he knew, so you have the first three of the sequence too.
And give me an Arcana check. So you also know what the stream knows, but your characters up until now have not, that if you press the wrong order, there seems to be some sort of latent magic on this, and you believe that it'll have disastrous consequences for whatever is on the other side of the wall.
Okay. Let me just...
So that is your action. You walk, you use your movement, come up, use your action to kind of stop, investigate, think, recall your knowledge. And now you have a bonus action and you have a free interact still. And whatever you'd have left of your movement, I don't know how much you used. You used 1, 2, 3, 4, 25 feet of your movement.
And Elias is presumably standing in front of the tablet, right?
Yeah. So he's actually here.
Okay.
So you could move up one more space if you wanted to.
No, I don't think that's necessary. But I can see the tablet, right?
You can. And when I say tablet, it's on the wall. It's 6 feet tall. Like all those rows of letters span 6 feet from bottom to top. So it's big.
And based on my Arcana check, is there... and the intelligence check I made. Is this the kind of thing that, like, if I were to try to break the wall manually, would have repercussions magically?
You believe that if you were to break the wall manually, that you think that that could possibly bypass the trap as well. But you also know that it's made of stone, which would be really tough to break, but possible. But your intelligence and investigation, all this would also tell you, just in general, that knowing Igvis is on the other side, and you hear the rushing water, you imagine he doesn't really have a ton of time either. But if you could find a way to break the wall quickly, it could be a possible solution.
Okay. Just looking over my inventory real quick.
So at the moment, you have a bonus action and a free interact.
Yeah. I know that, again, based on, because I can see the tablet or the thing on the wall, right, from where I'm at. I can see that there are certain runes not lit up. Correct.
Yes. And by the way, Elias did very quickly mention.
He mentioned the sequence.
Yeah.
Can I tell?
I'll also say this. I'll say that you believe that you believe, based on what Elias told you, what you've seen, what you know about this, also that you believe that you need to deactivate all the runes in order to deactivate the trap, and you believe the bottom row has been deactivated.
Just the bottom row.
That's what you believe. You believe the fact that the lights are off signifies they've been deactivated.
And what is the order again? It's...
So Elias said, told you the order of the bottom row. E3, E2, E1.
I guess I'm just going to have to wait until Mariana gets here.
Right. Igvis, you are up. You are underwater. Make me an athletics check.
18.
18. All right. You are able to swim. At this point forward, you need to use your action in order to swim. You can still use your free interact to press buttons if you wish to do that. But you are also holding your breath. And if you exert yourself to press the button, swim down deep enough to press the buttons and press them in, it's going to cost you 4 rounds of holding your breath, breathable air. You can hold your breath for 1 plus con modifier minutes. So what's your con modifier?
+2, so I have 3 minutes.
You have 3 minutes, so you have 30 rounds of breathable air. And it would be 4 rounds if you decide to push button. You're going to use 4 rounds if you try to push any buttons of that 30 rounds.
Well, I can't hear that anybody's here, so I'm just going to assume it's still just me and Elias. So
Yeah, you wouldn't hear anything at this point being under the water.
I would press the one that I thought was next in sequence, which, in my mind, I'll just go basically right to left, bottom to top, is what I'm going to try and do. So in this case, it'd be D3.
Okay, so it's going to cost you 4 rounds as you do that. So you have 30 rounds that you could hold your breath. You've been holding it. This counts as 1 round too. So you're at 25 rounds left that you can hold your breath. As you hit D3, it glows blue, and then it goes out. And on the other side, you guys see that rune do that.
Okay, and that'll be it then.
Okay.
I'll keep track of my breath, so you don't have to worry about it.
All right. Mariana, you are up.
And I can speak Draconic, so what am I saying here?
You can speak Draconic?
Yes.
Okay. So, you see... I'm actually gonna send you in Discord what you recognize. You recognize them as letters in Draconic. And that is your translation to Common, what I sent you in Discord.
Okay. What was the order of the bottom row?
E3, E2, E1. And then you saw D3 go out as well as you're standing there.
Oh no, she's stupid. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Alright. So, I can't get any closer, and I use my action to dash. Let's see. I'm gonna tell them D2 next.
Okay.
And then I'll flip back over and end my turn.
Okay, Elias, you're up.
So Elias is going to press D2, and then he's going to ask Mariana if D1 is next.
Yes.
Then he's going to press that.
Okay. You do,
Oh, are you kidding? Oh my god,
You-
just go backwards.
you do
All the way up.
D2, then D1, and D2 glows blue, then goes out completely. D1 glows blue, then goes out completely. Right now, the bottom two rows are both completely out.
Elias is going to shout across the wall that it's backwards going from a left to right order.
And Igvis cannot hear you.
Right,
but
right to left.
Igvis
Right to
already said what Igvis assumed.
Yeah.
Was bottom
And
to top,
Igvis,
right to left.
you do see those lights go out under the wall.
To be fair, it's a random thing.
Okay, is that it, Elias? That's your action, and do you
Yeah.
stay where you are?
Yeah, he's going to say where. Wait,
Okay,
yeah, he's going to say where he is.
okay. Go ahead and pass the turn.
Actually, he's going to move 5 feet to get out of the way.
Okay, so you can move to the back because Mariana and Nyle are both behind you. So would you move behind both of them? Because you can't stop in their square.
Yeah. Yeah, we're just going to go in a line going from the right order.
Okay, Nyle, you're up.
Which one is the last one that was?
Right now, the bottom two rows are both out. And the top
C3.
three rows are still all glowing.
I'm gonna press for my free interact C3 and then C2.
Okay. Same deal. You see them go out. They glow blue, then go out. Igvis. Make me an athletics check.
Natural 20.
Nice. So you are able to swim. And I assume you would keep trying to press the order that you believe.
I saw that go a lot faster than I was anticipating, I assume. Because like the lights went out a lot faster than Elias was normally pressing them.
Yep.
Seems confident in the order. I'll hit the next one in the sequence.
Okay. So just to confirm, which one do you want to hit?
The bottom 3 rows are all out now. Oh wait, no. I need to hit C1, right?
C2 and C3 are out, and the bottom 2 are out. C1 is still glowing.
I'll hit C1.
Okay, so you hit C1, and it goes out, and you use 5 more rounds of breathable air.
Yep.
Mariana.
Move forward, and he just did C2 and... Okay, so he's not able to do both.
So
I
the
will
bottom
do
3 rows
E3.
are all out. So you do what?
B3, B2.
Okay, they go out. Elias, you're up.
So B2 is out.
And give me a dex save, Igvis. As you get pelted with rocks. So B3 and B2 are both out.
So B1, A3.
B1, A3. Okay, you do that. You take 2 points of bludgeoning damage, Ignis, because you saved. Okay, those go out. B1 and A3.
I'll pass the turn now.
Okay. Nyle.
So that was
Currently, the only 2 runes that are glowing are the A1 and
A2.
A2.
I'll press A2 and then A1.
Okay. You press A2, and then you press A1, and they both go out, and you hear a rumble. And the entire slab moves to the side, and a rush of water comes out, and you see Igvis basically rush out of the water as it pushes the rest of you back a little bit, and he's kind of just flopping on the ground like a fish as he takes in a big gasp of air. And we can drop out of initiative.
Okay. I don't want to begin to know what trap this. How you fell into this trap. Are you okay?
I got a little turned around. Sorry. It's been a month and a half since I've walked through here.
It's fine. Just make our way back. Ugh.
There was so much lightning.
I don't even want to know. I have an inclination.
You lead the way. I don't want to get lost again.
Yes, follow me.
Somebody gonna grab Elias? I'm assuming he's coming with us.
Presumably, Elias is with us because I'm probably dragging him.
And Elias has his own light that he had put on.
Oh, the moment that this ends, Elias takes out his light and just puts his hand back on Ignis' shoulder.
Get in.
With
Perhaps for some healing.
Well, he's going to act like he doesn't see anything, and then he's going to make a heal check to see how hurt Ignis looked.
Well, yeah, I'd say you don't actually see anything if you're turning off your light.
Well, he's going to do the heal check before that.
I gotcha.
Obviously.
I mean, Igvis seems hurt.
Does he look hurt enough that, like, say, simple heal wounds would help, or does he need something heavier?
You tell me, Igvis. You got a 20 on his medicine, so he'd be able to tell basically how hurt you are.
You can see him limping a little. He doesn't look great, but he's also not, like, in dire need.
Elias is going to take out his light, and then he's just going to use a Cure Wounds in the dark. But he's going to try to pass it off like he's just touching your shoulder.
All right, 6 points of healing. Igvis.
Walks a little straighter, but still has a little bit of a limp.
All right, now that you've gotten a shower,
Shut up, Nile.
sorry, I've been.
Did you do anything productive while I was gone?
I jumped off a cliff. Turns
Explain.
out the cloaks that they provide don't let you fly, or at least us fly.
Who thought they let you fly?
Supposedly, according to Anarian and Mariana, the cloak could let them fly.
Those guys had wings. At least the one that I met.
Wait, did he have wings under the robe? Because that would be kind of funny if we just totally missed that, but it would line up with the check.
The one that like backstabbed me grew wings, as far as I'm aware.
So
Whether that was the cloak or them, I don't know, but they had wings.
So you know that the cloak kind of extended like wings.
Ah. Okay, maybe it wasn't a stupid idea.
That's
Leaving
what it looked
100 feet of rope rather than 50 in order to jump, and wearing plate armor and carrying hundreds of gold may have been less smart.
I lived. We're fine.
So to be clear, while I was drowning and being shocked to death, you guys did nothing?
Yep.
So let me be clear. You guys got lost in caves that you were able to leave. And I
Yeah,
would,
it's been a month since I walked through these things.
and I will also reiterate, it's not like I can hear you scream in a cave that far. But I digress. We were trying to find ways to get over the chasm. Jumping over is really not an option.
How long is this chasm?
50 feet.
40, 45 feet.
You thought you could... Alright. I'm gonna stop asking questions. Where is this thing?
Anarian pipes up and says, I did offer to change into a spider.
I'm sure you did, bud. I'm assuming he jumped before you were there, to be honest.
So, out of curiosity, are we by the bridge now?
Have you walked up with us? I think we all left you behind.
No, he had his hand on your shoulder, and was following you.
You have to move your token, dude. I can't move your token for you.
Can't see where to.
The token was moved up there, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I moved it up there. They're all moving down the hallway. Elias, are you moving as well with them?
Yeah, Elias would have followed the group.
And without your light?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, other
Yeah.
people have light on too. So.
Oh, if other people have light on, Elias is putting it on.
Okay. So then
I'm just assuming it's this way. I could be wrong.
I'll do that so you can move your own
You
token there.
assumed correctly.
These paths are so long.
It is a.
Am I going the
Large
right way to
gates is-
follow them?
Yep.
What? Well, this is the pit.
You tried to jump this?
I should reiterate that I was also testing to see if the cloak, which apparently would enable people to fly across said chasm, would work for me.
You... Magical... If it extended like wings, assume... I would assume it's a magical cloak that you might have to attune to?
So, the bridge is down, I guess?
Yeah, the bridge is You can't actually cross the bridge because it's basically on the other side. It's like on the cliff.
Mariana, how far does this bridge go?
Mariana has briefly gone to the bathroom.
I'm just gonna fly over to where I see the bridge, like, because I have 60-foot dark vision. So I'm just gonna fly to the edge of the bridge and drag it up, like, so it's as far extended as it possibly could be, towards the other side.
If you bring the bridge up, we can reconnect it.
That's the goal.
So, Igvis, roll me 1d3. One. So the first 5 feet of the bridge is has been scorched. So as you kind of fly out here, basically the bridge extends to where you are. To the 5 feet in front of you is still black.
So, do we still have that rope?
Yeah. Yes, we still have the 100 feet of rope.
So to be clear, that area is the only thing missing at the moment.
Correct.
Okay.
So, Elias is gonna ask for the rope.
I give him 50 feet of rope.
Elias is going to grab one end of the rope and ask Igvis to take the other, kind of reaching out 2.5 feet.
Are you gonna make steps? Is that what the goal is?
Well, the plan is at least now we can hold the bridge steady, and then we can get it stabilized and figure out something else to put on it.
See, I imagine I can probably just be in this spot with my arms basically outstretched to both directions and like hold the bridge in the edge of the cliff kind of thing.
Well, Elias is offering you rope so we can tie it up and stabilize it again.
You could hand it off based on the size of the bridge and the rope and leaning over. You'd be able to hand off the end of the rope to Igvis.
Yeah,
All right.
give me some knots or something. I'll try and tie this on.
Mariana's going to
Elias
take over the
is
knots.
going to direct you through. Okay, good, because I know knots. Elias doesn't. Actually, wait. Would Elias know knots? I feel like he would. As
Mariana will know knots better than Elias will know knots.
yeah.
I'm just holding the bridge. Just give me something. I'll loop it through like the brick, like the wood, so that the part of the 50 feet, like if you imagine 25 feet, I guess, is on the top and bottom of a piece of wood, and I'm just handing it back to you. Like, do something with it. I don't care.
Elias is going to trust Mariana's judgment and ask her to tie the strongest fishing knot she knows.
I'm not using fishing knots. I'm using sailing knots, but
Oh, those are better. So.
Maybe I'll wrap
we'll-
it under the board like 7 times and then give you back both ends. Be like, "Have
yeah,
fun
she's
with
going
it."
to recommend you weave it through a few boards,
Yeah.
Cool. Then,
wrapping around existing knots.
then if we have, let's say, 50 feet of rope, right? I'll basically wrap it around enough boards to like cover this 5 foot and this 5 foot square. So like basically, I'm going to use like 30-ish feet of it to wrap and secure it to these boards. And give you guys back the other 20 feet. Sure, that's enough. I'm sure that's enough rope for you.
That should do it.
So you use like
30-ish feet,
Okay.
wrapping it around like, you know, this board, then this board, then this board, then this board, like all going up about 10 feet on it and back. So I'm using roughly 30-ish feet.
Yeah, I'd say you'd use about. You're trying to go over each board, right? You're
Not every board. I'm kind of going over like every other, maybe every third, but I'm
gotcha.
extending it out.
I
up to
got you.
10
You're
feet,
using like double going that way, and then you're just going to come straight back 10 feet.
Yes.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, so use about 30 feet, and then there's an extra 5 feet to get to the ledge. So you've used 35 feet of rope, so there's still 15 feet left in Elias's hands.
I'm sure that's
Okay.
enough. I'm sure that's plenty for you guys to do your
And-
knots.
Mariana's going to anchor it not only on the bottom of the post, but on the top so that there are multiple points.
Okay, yeah, there's a post on each side. So
And
there's
then,
a post here. and
multiple
a post-
points on one post for the one side. And then we're going to take the other length of rope, I think, and do the same thing on the other side.
Okay, sounds good. Who's tying the rope?
Mariana.
Okay, Mariana, give me survival at advantage. Just one survival at advantage.
That's... I mean, because... Nah, we've got the advantage to cancel out for that, but oh well.
So that's a 5. It didn't roll in Foundry for whatever reason, but you might have to refresh your page or D&D Beyond or go to the features and traits again just to reactivate it so it rolls with your character. Everyone might have to do that, possibly.
I'm just gonna roll a test die.
Looks like
See
I'm
what comes
good.
through.
Yeah, so that came through.
Yeah,
There.
okay.
So you got a 5 for your survival.
Yeah.
Even after Mariana ties it, I'm still literally gonna be like the guardian angel, like going one at a time with people like holding their hand as they're walking across the bridge, just in
Okay.
case something happens.
Okay.
Who's first?
So I mean, it's tied off.
And we trust Mariana. She has sailing knots.
Like, honestly, as familiar as she would be with knots, I feel like she would know that these are shit, but the rules dictate, so...
Would Elias also have some familiarity with knots for his time in the circus? Because I feel like there's a lot of knot tying to set up a circus tent.
Maybe you might.
Can I try to check the knots?
I mean, I would assume you might look at the knots before you go across as a double check if you were a little wary. So give me a wisdom check.
Did you heal
Give me
me?
a survival check. You can give me a survival.
13.
All right, 13 survival. You're not feeling too confident about these knots, Elias.
Fair Mariana, I'm not the most confident. Would it be alright if I asked you to do them again? He's gonna point to something in the knots that has him worried. And no, I just have a bug where whenever I open Foundry, if I press space, it triggers a die roll.
But on Elias's suggestion, she'll inspect the areas that he pointed out.
Okay. Yeah, you're pretty sure that these there's a little error in one of your knots, and like one of the loops, it looks like it could be a slip knot, right, instead of a bowline, and you made a slight error there that you notice right away.
And then should I roll to retie that?
Yes. Go ahead and roll me another survival. All right. So you tie it back up, and Elias, you're feeling a little bit more sure about it. Anybody can check, by the way, if you want to see how secure these knots might be.
I fly, so I don't care. I'm just gonna hold people's hands as they walk across.
Okay.
Who's testing it first?
So Elias is gonna look at Igvis. Igvis, would you mind giving it a jump for me?
And with that, Nyle is just gonna walk across.
Okay, so you have to jump the 5 feet.
That's fine.
Okay, so you jump the 5 feet across onto the bridge, and I will move you wherever your token went.
It's behind Elias.
Gotcha. There we go. So you move on onto there as you jump across. Give me an acrobatics check.
And I'm here to try and like catch him. Would that possibly give him advantage?
Is the
Yeah,
because
do it
I
at
used
advantage.
I mean, like I did athletics before to jump, right?
It's not for jumping. You automatically make the jump
This is
because of your strength score.
The bridge is going to be swaying, and to make sure you don't fall off, I think.
So do it at advantage for me because Igvis is there.
Nat 20. That's a 19 now.
Yeah, so you jump across and like onto the bridge, and you know this is Jimmy rigged, you know, and you jump on, and the bridge kind of sways back and forth for a second, but you're able to kind of secure your feet. Actually, you secure them pretty quickly.
Thanks, Igvis. Not that I needed it much.
For anyone who doesn't feel like jumping, I can just place you on the bridge.
That would be quite helpful, Igvis.
I'll just put on my hand to grab whoever's next and like help ferry them across, essentially, so that they're on the bridge without it swaying.
Okay.
I can probably do that for everybody except for maybe Kel. Kel might be a little heavy for me.
How much weight can you carry? What's your strength, Igvis?
I have a 10 strength.
All right. So what's your carrying capacity?
I'm actually not sure where to check that.
Your carrying capacity is your strength score multiplied by 15, so 150 pounds. So I would say anything 150 pounds, anybody 150 pounds or lower, you can just automatically ferry across. You could just fly them across. Otherwise, we need to make checks.
Yeah, so for anybody, basically I'll just place them. I'll carry anybody who doesn't want to walk on the bridge. Otherwise, I'll place them on the bridge and grab the next person.
Okay, Kel's
And I think
250
Kel's a little
pounds.
too heavy. I think Kel's a little too heavy. So
Anarian is small enough that you could literally fly him across.
Cool, I'll take Anarian across.
Okay. Mariana, how much do you weigh?
Like 135? 130? 140.
All right. So you can ferry Mariana across as well.
Elias, what about you?
How much does Elias weigh?
Yeah.
I'm not actually sure.
How tall are you? So on your character sheet and your description, you probably put that down. Your height and your weight. If you didn't...
I actually left that blank. Elias is average height, average weight for a man in this age.
Okay.
I'll say he's like 5'10", and maybe 160. That seems appropriate for a human.
Okay. So 5'10", 160. So Elias, you'll need to make a check for me.
I can ferry you onto the bridge, but that's
Igvis-
about as far as I can take you.
Yeah, Igvis can give you advantage, but make me an acrobatics check at advantage.
You should all also probably get off the bridge. I carried you all the way across.
Yeah, they are. They just literally can't because I have them blocked in.
No.
Your acrobatics is good, Elias.
Yes.
You're able to get across.
I was worried it was athletics instead of acrobatics for some reason.
Yep, so you're good. Now Cal's up. So Cal is going to, at advantage, make an acrobatics. Just +0 for him. Alright, cool.
Hey.
And Cal is also able to get his footing thanks to Igvis and get across. So I'm going to put all of you on the other side so you can move yourselves. Alright. You're on the other side.
That wasn't so hard.
Yeah, do we have you here an hour ago?
No, I was drowning.
And whose fault was that?
We should be quiet from here. Put out your lights.
Oh, my light's going out.
Do I need to do like a stealth check?
I'm just gonna put some lights out. So, Nile, you said you're putting your light out?
Yeah.
You put your light out, Elias?
Yeah, Elias is gonna put his light out. He's gonna grab someone's shoulder before he puts his light out, though. Let's say Igvis.
Okay.
Follow,
So
follow Mariana, dude.
Cal is currently in the dark as well. He's just gonna bring up the rear with whoever is.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow Mariana. That makes the most sense.
So you're gonna be towards the front. Well, I guess
Yeah.
you don't know whether you're front or back. And Cal will just grab on to somebody, to Anarian. Okay,
And I'll walk with Nile then.
I will
Yes.
unpause. Mariana, you see a room that.
Do we need to do like a group stealth check or anything, or?
Yes, please, if you are trying to be stealthy. Everybody can roll me stealth.
I guess I'm making up for my bad knots now.
Oh, do you guys want Pass Without Trace or?
No, I mean, like, I'm okay. I rolled the same roll each time.
I think we're good.
Yeah. I think
Oh,
I'm
pass
fine.
without a trace gives a +10, just flat. So like I'd have a 33, for example.
Yeah.
Well, if you were casting it.
If he was casting it.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So the third highest roll is your group stealth. So.
I'm also obviously giving the
20.
least stealthy person Blessing of the Tricks.
So your group stealth is 18. But okay, so you are trying to be stealthy. Mariana, as you look into that room, you are the only one who can see up into it from where you guys are. You see a room with chests and what look to be armor and weapons. The far end over here, there are 2 chests that are closed, and here, slumped up against the wall, is one of the masked cultists that you were fighting earlier, you assume. And they are slumped up against the wall and not moving. You
I'm gonna
also see it
whisper-
looks like you have torches on the wall that could be lit. 4 different torches here. And there's also a large sconce here that could be lit. For
I'm gonna
light.
whisper back. There's one cultist very heavily injured. Igvis, do you want to keep them alive for questioning?
Nile, do we need to spare any more?
Not particularly. I need to find the little girl. That's my only objective.
We'll check.
Should we ask?
Yeah,
That's-
that'd be a reason. Anybody else got some rope?
I have 50 feet more of
We
rope.
have manacles still.
Who has those currently? I think I might have them.
Yeah, I don't think we've been keeping track very well of those. Because Nile had them on for when we were gonna do the cultist thing.
I think I took them off at that point, so I should probably have them then. And I can get to them, like, within the 6 seconds, so. Pink! Right to them, and, like, obviously still stealthing, and I'm gonna
As
try
you
and put them
get-
on without them waking up.
Yeah, as you get over there, you also notice there are 2 empty vials on the ground, empty glass vials right next to this person.
Can I do a quick medicine check then?
Yeah, go ahead and make me a medicine check.
10.
You don't believe this person is breathing.
I see 2 vials here. They might have taken their own life. They're not breathing.
I'm gonna light one of the torches for the others.
The one you're next to, right?
Yeah, sure.
So is that dragon person not breathing, you said?
I don't believe they're breathing.
Elias is gonna make a medicine check to confirm they're dead.
Okay, go ahead and make me a medicine check. Yeah, they're dead.
Elias is gonna confirm that.
Well, that little girl in here.
I mean,
Wait, Elias is also gonna check what killed them though.
Yeah, with your 20, you're pretty sure that they did not die from injuries in battle. And in fact, you believe that many of those wounds that you would expect based on what Mariana and Narian described have healed over particularly fast, unnaturally. And one of those vials you kind of look at, and there seems to be a little bit of red liquid that you kind of recognize, and you believe one of those vials might be a healing potion. The other vial seems to have some dark residue at the bottom of it, and you're not sure what that is, just based on your medicine check. But you don't believe that he died from natural causes, and you don't believe he died from injuries that he sustained.
So I think Elias is leaning towards poison. Does that look, not to say knowing which poison, but poison? Does that make sense as an implication here?
It could definitely make sense with your findings.
I suspect highly they were poisoned.
more like
We're
they're
poisoned
themselves.
or poisoned themselves. There's nobody else here.
Quite possibly either. Are either of these vials open?
Yeah, the 2 vials are both open and empty.
So Elias is going to stick his finger in the jar. Be prepared to heal me if this goes badly. And he's going to take some of the residue from the one he doesn't recognize on his finger.
I'm gonna
and just
grab your
tap it
hand
on-
and not let you do that. No. Let's not possibly kill ourselves while we're trying to save a little girl still.
Like, don't assume any of us are able to deal with that. I can't cure poisons.
Just take it with us. You don't have to test it now.
You know, actually,
As someone
yeah,
who tested something earlier, while I want to disagree with them, you probably should not do that.
is there a way I could make a check on it without trying it then? So see if
Yeah, give me an... I guess it would be Arcana check.
Can I ask an Aryan for the guidance cantrip for this case? Because I've seen him use it before.
Yes, I can do that, Elias. And he will give you guidance.
Cool. So, would it be Arcana or Medicine to know the poison?
I think Arcana.
Okay.
Okay, here.
What does guidance give me, by the way? I forget.
A 1d4.
It's what? A 1d4?
1d4.
Total of 18 with guidance.
18. Yeah, you're pretty sure that this other vial is poison. And you believe there's enough in the vial for one more dose. And you believe that it, if ingested, would be the way that you would be poisoned by it.
So Elias is gonna like put the lid back on, and then he's actually gonna hand it to Nile, and he's gonna say, "Ace, this is poison. Quite frankly, you are the one we should trust most with this. There is one dose." Do I know enough to know what poison it is, or just that it's poison?
You didn't roll high enough to know what poison it is, but you know that it is poison. You know there's one dose. And I would even say that you know that considering there's only a small bit left in the vial, that you believe this to be a very potent poison. But you're not sure exactly what.
Can I make an Arcana check on
Yeah.
it? Just
Go ahead. Give me an Arcana check.
You're awfully trusting of someone you've only known for a couple of days.
Is she saying that to Elias or Nile?
And Anarian will also give you guidance, Nile. If you
what does guidance do?
You roll a
1d4.
D4.
He's gonna look at Mariana and say, "We both know that both of us would have found a way to use it. He's the only one who won't."
I don't think you know that either.
Fair point.
So now I got a 21 total.
DM is typing.
I am typing. Because you will know what poison it is and the effects of it. That's what you know.
So now I'm just gonna swirl what's left of it around.
So, can you make up with what it is?
Sorry, I'm adding it to my inventory.
And I know what it says under the actual item. But specifically, the second thing I messaged you is what you recognize about this. It's not normal.
I'm just gonna make it custom.
Okay. You can copy and paste the first paragraph if you want from the actual item into your custom.
So, have we had any interactions with the one that's dead here or not?
Just Eldritch blasting them. And shooting them. That's it.
I can make heads or tails of this, and what I can tell you is that it is very deadly and very, very hard to come by. He's dead. And if he's not dead, he will be.
Oh, he's extremely dead. I suspect he took it himself.
Can anyone detect magic to see if there's anything magical in this room, or just some chests?
Not yet, but I was going to.
I can only divine sense. So
Yeah, I'd like to detect magic.
Okay. You detect magic. And you do detect magic coming from both of the chests.
I'm going to ask Anarian if he'd like to check for traps.
Can you tell the school of magic? I forget if detect magic actually lets you do that.
Yeah, I think it should give me that. Yeah.
Yes. You... DM loading. You detect... I guess you would detect enchantment, and you would detect conjuration from two separate sources. Sorry. 1 second. You would also detect... You detect a lot of magic. Give me a second.
I'm glad we asked.
Okay. You detect abjuration. You detect evocation. You detect conjuration. And you detect I guess transmutation. Not enchantment, transmutation.
And all like in/on the chests specifically?
Coming from within the chest.
Both or just one?
Both. And different. The one to the south is transmutation. No, scratch that. The one to the south is illusion. And then everything else I mentioned is in the north chest, which is the abjuration, the evocation, and the conjuration.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend trying those ones.
trapped?
Maybe?
I'm guessing you sent a lot of magic?
Yep.
Go ahead, Anarian. I'll be over here.
Yes, I can pick it, but if it's dangerous, I don't know. Should I?
I'll be with you the whole time.
The lower one is... there's an illusion inside? Something's up with that one, but the top one, I don't know that you should touch it.
Okay, I was away from keyboard. What did I miss?
Very, very dangerous chests. Lots of magic.
So did I just hear illusion?
Yeah, the lower chest has illusion magic on it. The upper has evocation, abjuration, conjuration.
The upper one has abjuration, evocation, conjuration. The bottom one has illusion.
I'm going to attempt to open the bottom one if you guys have no objections.
Oh, long as you don't mind if I evacuate the room first.
By all means.
Your two people
Nyle?
with the key will be around the corner. See ya.
All
Up,
right.
guys. Be prepared to heal me if I almost die. Alais has a healing potion he keeps on him, right?
I don't know. Does Elias have a healing potion on his character?
He should have one, because I gave him the one from my item.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's going to hand that to who does he trust most here? Probably Igvis, actually. And he's gonna hand that to Igvis and say, if anything happens to me, you know how to bring me back.
I'm outside the room. Nyle said he'll be next to you.
Alright. Well, Nyle,
Wait, we should
Oh.
check the body first to make sure there's nothing important that could be destroyed.
fair point. What do we find as we check the body's pockets with an investigation check?
You don't need an investigation check to look through the body. As you look through the body, you'll find just a scimitar that is next to the body and the mask that they are wearing.
Alright, so
They're
Elias,
also wearing leather armor.
Elias is going to pick up the scimitar. Who took the potion from him?
Well, you
The
gave
poison?
You
You
gave
handed
the
that to
poison
Nyle.
to Nile.
No, the potion, because Elias gave someone a healing potion.
I don't know.
Nyle should have that too, because I'm out of the room.
Yeah, I have a healing potion as well. Like,
Alright, because the thought is you can get me up if I go down, is what Elias was thinking.
yeah,
So
I also
first-
have cure wounds. Like,
Use my magical one first. It's free.
So, first, Elias is going to open the illusion chest, I guess.
Okay. You go to open the chest, and it goes click as it opens. And it opens. And in front of you is what looks like a large steel helmet. And it's looks pretty intimidating.
So, Elias is going to pick up the large steel helmet. Now, the first thing he's going to do is roll an Arcana check. He can't tell what it is. And he's going to look back at Nyle and say, "Tell me, does this look like a large steel helmet to you?"
And so you grab it. Sorry, say
Yes.
again. Okay, you grab it and you pick it up and you hold it up to Nile and then you say that.
Yes.
Okay. And Nile, you see. Sorry, I'm just loading a picture here. You see. This is what it looks like.
toss it my way.
Elias is going to walk over and hand it to Nile. Can you tell me what this thing does? I can't make heads or tails of it.
Can I make like a check on it? I don't know what I'd make.
Make me an
Probably-
Arcana check. Yes.
Note that if it's illusion or enhancement, Elias is likely to be far more interested in it, which I don't know if Nyle would like.
It's a dread helm. Make sure your eyes glow red when you put it on.
Any particular effects of magic?
It makes your eyes glow red when you wear it.
What's the point of that?
To intimidate your foes.
Ah, that one we can probably give to Cal. It's better to be loved than feared in my book.
Do you want to go open the other chest?
Indeed. Elias is going to. Can I check for traps, or do I need a kit for that?
No, I mean, you can check for traps.
What role would that be?
Anybody can do that. Give me an investigation or perception. Your choice.
I'm going to use perception because Elias has a better perception.
You don't think there are any traps that you can see.
Elias is going to open the chest.
Okay. You open the chest, and it goes click. And inside, you find 5 potions and this weird horn-looking thing, which looks like this.
Okay.
And then you find 5 potions in there.
So Elias is going to grab the contents of the chest and walk it over to Nile.
I'm going to make an Arcana check on all of them, I guess.
Okay. Give me 6 Arcana checks. Or give me 3. Sorry, give me 3 Arcana checks.
I guess Elias also makes Arcana checks because he's trying his best.
One of those was a nat 1, but the other 2 were fine.
Yeah, so, I mean, you know, Nile, that the potions, 4 of them are potions of healing. And the other one, the 5th potion, is a potion of... I should just do this. In case you want to reveal information or not. The horn-looking thing, you're not sure.
Elias is also going to actively ask him on that one, like, what potions do you have? Yeah.
So 4 of those are... He's going to kind of look at them. Looks like health potions, and then this one appears to be a potion of fire resistance.
That'll come in handy. Goodness knows we'll need it. I'd suggest we should give that one to Igvis or Cal. They seem to be the ones getting in the most fire.
We should probably distribute the health potions to Igvis and Kel anyway. Honestly, I might take the helm. It's kind of funny.
Fair. I'd recommend giving everyone 1 health potion just in case people go down and we have no healers. Anyway, let me take a look at the horn. Maybe I can tell, but if you can't, I probably can't.
Horn beats me, but it's clearly magical.
Elias got a 9, so probably not.
Yeah, you're not sure what this weird horn is.
Does it remind you of the one Mariana has?
It has, it's this horn. It looks like it could be a drinking horn almost. It's a horn and it has a little stopper on the end that looks like it could be removed.
Well, Nile, there's
Well,
one way to
what?
tell what it is.
One second. Everyone, it's fine. There are no magical explosions yet.
Well, I'm about to open the horn, though, so give me 30 feet.
Told you I wasn't gonna let you stand alone.
Alright, so I guess Elias is going to try. Alright, Nile, you think it's a dangerous idea to open the horn? And with that, he's gonna just take the stopper off and see what happens.
Okay. You take the stopper off, and it comes off. And nothing else happens.
Does this have a magical aura at all, Nile?
Do you detect magic, Nile?
Well, the detect magic from Mariana is still up. We should be able to tell which magic this one's giving off.
True. How long? Does
Or if
detect
necessary,
magic
I'll do it again.
Yeah.
It lasts like 10 minutes, right, or something?
I don't think so. It costs. I thought it's 10 minutes to cast, like as a ritual. If you do that. Oh no. Yeah. Duration 10 minutes. Okay. So this one was the conjuration.
Ah. So when I took the stopper off, it did nothing, which means that I suspect we're gonna. So, should we try to pour the contents out, or should we try to save it?
Does it look relatively familiar to me?
No.
I was wondering if it might be another dragon vessel.
It does not look familiar to you in any way, more than it looks to anyone else.
Alright, so should I try to pour out some of the liquid and see what happens, my friends?
Maybe not here.
That
Let's
is
just take it with us and we can test it later.
indeed. I guess I'll keep this one with me.
Maybe I can give it to somebody who might be able to identify it. I don't
And
like
it-
taking the chances.
And then, while you're all here, why don't you all each take a health potion? And who wants the fire resistance?
I don't need it.
So you're giving health potions to who specifically? Because there's 6 of you.
I'm going to give the health potion to Kel. I'll give one to Anarian. I'll give one to Mariana. And I guess I'll just walk back to Elias and be like, here, just in case. Can't have a healer go down.
Indeed. Thank you.
All right.
Also, hey, Igvis.
Hmm.
And I'm going to put on the dread helm.
Okay. And as you put it onto your head, your eyes glow red.
Look at what I'm doing.
Ooh, you're a cultist. Let's go.
You're no fun. I'm old, but you're just no fun.
You have a little girl to save.
I do, but I have to make light of the situation somehow.
He figures putting on a helmet with glowing red eyes would be exactly the sight that this little girl will comfort her.
I'm just gonna call out from like the chasm that I'm across and just be like, "You guys better come, or I'm not helping you across."
Can I put a light on myself now?
Yes, you can. Oh, the light! Anybody else putting lights on?
Wasn't there like a forge or something?
Someone else
blew
put a
it
light
up.
on. So if someone else put a light on, Elias will put his light on.
I put on my light, so
And Kel is gonna pull out his sword, which lights up.
Which direction do people head?
South.
Cool. Alais also has. Alais has a light on right now. So, did we cross the bridge or not? Cheers, everyone.
Well, I suppose it's time to go back. I thought that there was like a path down to a forge or something over here, but
So I think the only people that need to make checks were Elias, Nile, and Cal.
I think it's just Nyle and Cal. Oh, wait, no, Elias did too.
checks
I'm pretty
for...
sure this thing here was the forge.
What is it?
Okay.
It was, and you can see that it is off, and it looks like it's been heavily damaged by some sort of big explosion.
So, what does Elias need to make a check for?
Because I can't carry you across.
So make me an acrobatics with advantage.
All right, wait. How much does Elias weigh? How much does everyone else weigh that they're that much lighter than him? I thought he was a fairly average-sized human.
Less than what Igvis can carry.
I got a 9.
Got a 5.
All right. Nile, you start going across. I'll move you. So as you get here towards the center, the rope bridge sways and your foot goes through one of the boards that breaks beneath your feet. And you start to flip over the side. Igvis, you can react. If you would
Mariana's gonna try to stabilize the bridge at this end too, if she can.
All right.
I actually can't move onto the bridge.
Yeah, I was saying verbally. Tell me kind of what you're gonna do.
So if he's swaying really hard,
So
and
it sways. You see his foot go through one of the boards, and he kind of trips over it, and his back hits like the side rope, and he starts to flip over the bridge.
So I'll fly in whichever direction I think he isn't going over. Grab onto his arm if I can, and just try and pull him back onto it.
Okay. Give me an athletics check, Igvis.
12.
12. So the 12 is not enough. Nile, give me an acrobatics to catch the edge of the bridge as you go to flip over. That is not good. So you flip over the bridge, Nile, and you fall. Everybody is going to get a reaction if you have something to do. As you see Nile flip over the bridge, Igvis tries to grab him to pull him up and back onto the bridge, and he flips over and basically falls over as he tries to grab onto the side, but is unable to do so quickly enough. Mariana, do you have any sort of reaction that you'd like to use?
I don't have any I can.
Elias.
I think Elias also failed based on his check.
Well, we're gonna get to you in a second.
You also get one more dice regardless, but do you have a reaction for Nile?
Okay, so, and Nile appears to be falling off.
Yeah, he has fallen off pretty much. So, if you have something you can do as a reaction, now is the time to do it. Specifically as a reaction.
Clerics don't have reactions, so not much I could do. All his stuff is, bonus actions.
And Anarian doesn't look like he has anything for a reaction. I'm just checking their character sheets. Kel does not have anything that he can use as a reaction. Okay, Nyle, you go over the bridge. And you fall down into the darkness beyond everybody else's dark vision. Actually, you have a light on, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a reaction? Anything you can use as a reaction?
I could cast shield.
I actually have a question. Can I fly faster than Nile falls?
No.
I was hoping.
You fall 500 feet and around, I think it is.
So I don't have a reaction. However, if I'm going to fall to my death, I would like a final action.
Well, if, it's, you don't know, it's your final, but what did you want to do? Let's just put it that way.
Throw my backpack onto the bridge.
Okay. So as you kind of trip and fall over and you know that you're going, Igvis tries to save you, but your hand slips from Igvis's grasp and you try to grab onto the rope and you're unable to do so, and right before you kind of let go, you shimmy your backpack off and you kind of throw it over, hoping it might hook onto something, and it lands on the bridge and then you fall.
Well, because what I would like to do is as Igvis is holding my hand, and I slip, I'm going to use the momentum of falling to kind of turn and throw it just for the cool effect.
Okay.
And then just make it look at Igvis like it's okay, and then fall.
Fine, you fools. You fall. You fall quite a ways down out of everybody's dark vision, but you guys can see the light is on him as he smacks the water. Now, Nyle, you get one more check for me here. You can choose to, there's water down there already, which is why you get to make this check. You can choose to either just do nothing, or you can choose to dive, try to orient yourself so you can dive into the water head first, or cross your arms and your legs to kind of go feet first. You can try to right yourself in a better orientation.
I'd like to try to see if I can't dive.
If you can dive? Okay. So for the dive, make me an acrobatics check. All right. So you will take full damage. You fall 200 feet, which is 20d6. For 67 points of damage.
That'll insta-kill me, my friend, as I have 20 HP.
20 HP. That will insta-kill you. It's 12:30, and that's a good cliffhanger, I think, to end things on. Nyle, you go over. Last ditch effort, you throw your backpack, and Igvis dives towards the water. And depending on what Anarian wants to do, we will resolve that at the beginning of next session.
Sounds good.
All right. Everybody, if you want to say goodbye to the stream.
Bye.
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 Bye.